on.
Panicked. My pills. I wake up feeling panicked. My pills are in the cabinet. It takes all the strength I have to just ignore them as I pass it. Man, I hope this feeling passes soon. Been helling back, it's barely noon. I'm scared to go outside. Shit, I'm surprised I even left my room. And it feels like no one understands how bad I'd love to join my friends. It's hard to breathe, I'm anxious, and I'll end up staying home instead. The doctor hasn't helped me much. He signs his name, I buy the drugs. I'm feeling weird, I take one out, it makes me feel comfortably numb. Man, I can't handle my emotions like I used to. It's all different now. I start to sweat, I feel confused, my fingers shake, my heartbeat pounds. And I'm feeling claustrophobic every time the closet closes because my skeletons are in there, so I have to leave it open. I'm just nervous over nothing, even shit I can't control. I used to love to be in public, now I'd rather be alone. And even though it's difficult, it's probably for the best. If I didn't make a change, I would have drank myself to death. Then I wake up feeling better than I did the day before. But then it hits me out of nowhere and almost knocks me to the floor. A heaviness, a readiness to get back into bed. A sadness that I can't explain, a cloud over my head. My deepest, darkest fears feel like they're filling up an ocean and I'm floating on the surface with no hope to keep me going. I've been down on myself. Man, I forgot how to believe in me. I never asked for help, now I just struggle with it secretly. I wish that it was something I could sweep under the carpet. Trying to hide it all the time only makes the battle harder. Man, I lived a lot of moments that I probably should have cherished. Now they seem so far away from me, I'm angry and embarrassed. I can't even tell my parents, they don't need to keep on worrying. My mama and my papa don't deserve to have to bury me. I hope the pills I have will hold me over for a while. I'll keep searching for the strength to find my smile.
Deep.
I'm walking out the darkness and I barely made it. Hope this reaches all the people who cannot escape it. I was just like you. I was young like you. I was trying to numb the pain I was afraid of facing. I was trying to run away from the hurt. I didn't know what I would do if living felt any worse. I tried the pills and the therapy and none of it worked. I know it kills, but I want you to know that you ain't the first. Your people can't relate if they ain't felt it themselves. It feels like everything they say when you complain doesn't help. You're sinking deeper every day. When you're awake, you're in hell. You think you changed along the way, but now it's too late to tell. It's like you were rolling with the thunder and bell. Cause when the lightning started crashing, I guess you did as well. Your demons kicking down the door, they're never ringing the bell. They just keep tapping on the windows till they fall out the cells. I know you're feeling defeated, you try to keep it a secret. Your weakness got you believing you need a doctor for treatment, but taking pills ain't convenient, so you keep looking for reasons to go and flush them down the drain and find the faith to keep breathing. You lay and look at the ceiling all night when you should be sleeping, but you've been knee-deep pieces of dreams and failed achievements. You keep repeating the moments when you were beaten and broken, and now you're bleeding emotion. You just want someone to hold you. Well, me too. Cause I've been standing on the edge trying not to jump. I only say it so you know you aren't the only one. The only thing that killed the pain was smoking weed and getting drunk. Before I knew it, I had drank a case a day for 18 months. I was sleeping with a beer by my bed. Last call was all that I could hear in my head. I know there's too many of us drinking to try and forget, but who the fuck are we gonna cheers if we drink till we're dead? And when you finally get sober, you find the friendships are over because you don't have nothing in common. If you're not getting loaded, you call them brothers, you call them family, you call them your blessings, and now they calling you, ignore the phone, and that's called depression. They try to tell you your misery is not an excuse, and you just wish they could spend a day trying to walk in your shoes. Just know you're not alone, I feel the same way as you. It isn't you against the world, cause I'm fighting them too. It's like you're losing control until you drive right off the road, and then when the vehicle rolls again, you get thrown out the holes in it. Then you notice your bones are broken and all of your clothes are wet. Soaking with gasoline, light a smoke and explode with it. Till the day that we're ghosts, you'll never be on your own, cause I'll be standing in your corner till you need me the most. I was put on this planet to lift you up when you're low, and you have done the same for me, so I'll be keeping you close. I love y'all.
Fucking love it, man. Fucking love it.
I got away from all the chains they tried to lock me up with. I wasn't made for 9-to-5s or working in construction. I never fit the system, my description is the suspect. I gave them all the finger, then I rode into the sunset. And I don't want to be promoted. I don't need to raise a buck. And I don't want the Christmas bonus or the new company truck. Keep that silly uniform I had to wash and dry. I'm not a brick that's in your wall, but you're a thorn that's in my side. I was born to not comply with all the orders and defy all of the horrors I survived. I feel like normals are the skies. And I don't want an application or a half-an-hour lunch or a cubicle to work a job that I don't even love. My veins are full of gasoline, my motor's made of stolen parts, I've tightened all the nuts and bolts, but I don't want to work on cars. The system's trying to smother me, but anarchy is in my heart. They slash my tires and cut my brakes, I'll crash now if it even starts. My boss don't even know that I make music he would care about. He thinks I'm just some stoner stacking boxes in a warehouse. I got dreams and goals and things I'm told I work to keep aspiring. When music is my full-time job, then nobody can fire me. But right now it ain't hiring. My groceries expiring. My rent is due. My phone is off. The extra shifts are tiring. I know I'm made for more than what my resume reflects. The government is trying to dumb me down with guns and booze and sex. I'm not a salesman. I couldn't sell beer in the prohibition. I've never been the type to make a living off commission. I'm no good at wearing suits or doing taxes for a business. I want to count some money, not the hours and the minutes. I'm not a carpenter, a lawyer, a doctor. I'm not a waiter or a teacher or a cop or a plumber. I'm not a tradesman or an architect, an engineer, a pilot or a mailman. I'm something that don't fit into their perfect little game plan. I'm me. And they can try to kill my spirit with overtime when the barn burns. But if there's one thing I ain't scared of, it is long days and hard work. So they can pay themselves $1 while I only make a cent. But I will stack up all my pennies till they're higher than the fence. Then I'll climb them like a ladder and jump to the other side. Spend the nickels that I made on a taxi or hitch a ride. But they never thought they'd see the day I left them to survive and use the system that they built to leave their system all behind.
Shut up, Mia. You're fine.
War is coming. You can hear it in the distance. It sounds like all the screams of 1,000,000 men and women. You can smell it in the air and see it on your television, and the government don't care. They see the money, not the missiles. War is coming, and there's nowhere you can hide. We get a 30-minute warning before the bomb reaches our side. You can run for somewhere safer, but you'll just run out of time because there's nothing you can do except prepare yourself to die. War is coming. Can you feel it? Has your fear become a secret? Who are you more scared of, Donald Trump or North Korea? Are you worried when you're reading all the headlines in the evening? Even atheists will pray that they survive and start believing. War is coming. Born from money. Worn and ugly like it's always been. The bullets just got faster and the bombs are made from hydrogen. America the brave will have to earn her stars and stripes again. She wrote the books on history, but someone else might write her end. War is coming. War is coming. War has come to get the West. It was beating down our door while we were beating on our chests. It was making better weapons while we laughed at making threats. And now it's come to get its vengeance and we've just become oppressed. War is coming. I got away from my... Don't worry so much about Kanye's Twitter, Cardi B's baby, or what Drake eats for dinner. That is distractions. The laws of attraction won't work if you're concerned with how the next man is acting. That is facts. You can manifest your destiny. One thought is all it takes to change your whole life's trajectory. I'm not religious, but the Bible is full of many hidden recipes. Prayer is just a word they use to demonstrate effectively. The power of our thoughts create reality collectively. They're just messing up the messaging. And if you concentrate on good, then you receive good successfully. That's called fate. Fate is something that is meant to be. It happens because you make it so. It's never accidentally. Physical strength don't matter if you're not strong mentally. You can move a boulder with your muscles, but you can move a mountain with your energy. Don't spend it on your enemies. Eventually, that'll kill you. Remember you were young once, before you experienced failure, before your confidence was crushed from all the people you're compared to. When you were a kid, you were powerful. There wasn't to scare you. Then they beat you down and broke you up and blinded you and buried you. But the dream is still alive, and that power's still inside you. You need to rewrite the code and reroute the light to find you. We're too heavily invested in steadily flexing. It don't matter if you're sad, if you got Hennessy in a necklace. We're never looking inward. Instead, we look out at projections of what they told us is cool by the subliminal messages. Look in the mirror. That ain't you, dog. That's a manufactured persona that you subconsciously adopted from pop culture and products, that they sold you with the promise of joy. They wasn't honest, and I don't blame you for hoping it was true when you bought it. But the majority of people aren't as dumb as they seem. If you aren't addicted to drugs, then you're addicted to screens. I mean, look at you right now. I mean, look at me. We're both staring at our phones. I just hope you like what you see.
what's going on, everybody? My name is Corey LeBlanc, as you already all know if you're already tuning into this. And for anybody new here, great, thank you for stopping by and listening. And if you're not new, well, thank you for always listening. I really do appreciate each and every one of you listening. Now, what the fuck am I going to talk about today? Well, first off, I have some unfinished stuff to talk about my last episode, and I just want to go into a few more reasons about aliens and channeling and shit like that, because it's the ending is where I really, I think I had some good thoughts and opinions and ways to think about channeling and shit like that, and psychic medium and thought forms and UFOs and shit. One of my favorite parts was actually on the show about the thought forms and people that are psychic mediums and channelers are basically people that can either see or hear and perceive, feel thought forms, energy basically. And whether you think of thoughts as simply just thoughts in people's head, therefore if you can feel, see, hear thought forms, then it would make sense that you could be a mind reader, telepathic, see the future. This is where these powers and shit come from. Likewise, if you can figure out how to move energy and speak to energy, anyways, things open up whenever you can do that. It doesn't matter if you think thoughts are just thoughts, just words in someone's head, or just nothing important. That's really not accurate. But anyways, so I got some deeper stuff, but that was on the episode, so that was one of the best points. So I'm glad that was on there, and I was very tired when I was creating that at night. The night before I released it, whatever night that was. I think that would be Sunday night, because I think I put it out on Monday after work. But yeah, so some of the shit was kind of incoherent babbling, so my bad about that. But I'm going to get in that for a few seconds, but I want to just make sure, because I listened to it now 3 times, got a couple insights on how to expand on some of my ideas that I did say. But like I said, my recordings just vanished. I don't know. And like I said, I was recording a lot of that when I was tired. And then I went to work, and then I came home, and so I was still tired. And then I fucking go to put it all on, and it's I'm missing all these fucking, I think it was 2 40-minute ones, or a 40-minute, one 40-minute recording, 2 20-minute recordings, something to that effect anyways, that I was missing. Potentially even more, but that's what I know 100% I was missing. And normally I go on my recordings all the way at the bottom on my iPhone, and it says deleted recordings or whatever, recently deleted, and they're right there at the top, and there was nothing in there. It was all just 1, 3, 5 second long little fucking clips. So I was like, what the fuck? It was very strange. So I just released what I had, not even a conclusion on there and nothing, just released whatever the fuck I had, and that was it. But so I want to get into the rest of that today, and I'm gonna have it come in here, play very nicely, probably with what I'm saying. I mean, it may not, but I think I'll be able to pull it together pretty good. But anyway, so I want to talk about a few things today. I want to get back focused on magic itself, performing magic itself, instead of all the philosopher shit that I get into a lot, and how to perceive life and shit like that, which I really like talking about. I really think, obviously I need to study a hell of a lot more, but I really think I could make a good philosopher. Maybe not charismatic and, somebody people want to come see, but definitely the way I can expand on ideas, I think would, I'd have to have a lot of training and talking in front of crowds, and, staying on one idea and going back to my other ideas and shit like that, and finding a good system that works, which might be why I'm practicing it now, but anyways, I want to get focused more on magic, and to do that, I want to focus on today, I want to talk about some ideas about why we use different gods, astrology, why we use different astrology placements, why we talk about placements so much, why do we use them in magic, so on and so forth. And I guess the first thing, when it comes to magic period, and when I'm talking about gods and deity, right, whether you're a ceremonial magician who's using, either goetic, which is, not always, but has a lot to do with demons and angels, which is very fascinating. The angelic realm, talking to angels and shit like that, Enochian. Now, you don't necessarily need to use the Enochian language to talk to angels, but it definitely can and will work. That could be something all on its own, but I've had much success with magic without using Enochian and stuff. That being said, things have really amped up, really started amping up once I had the 4 Enochian tablets for air, fire, water, and earth on my altar. And you know, every grade that I complete, like I have a second one downstairs in my kitchen. When I was in the earth grade, I had one on the fridge, and then now I have an earth and air one on the fridge because now, you know, I'm in that grade and shit. So anyways, there's some meaning and stuff into that. I mean, you know, everybody knows that he was Queen Elizabeth's astrologer. I mean, and astrology should tell you astrology is pretty important. You know, the most prominent, richest royal family bloodline. I mean, you know you're a big deal when people start calling you aliens and shit like that, whatever the case is. You know, who the fuck knows? It could totally be the case. I don't fucking know. And, you know, just to go off for a second, the main focus of my last episode was so people stop focusing on the fear base, who's an alien, who's not an alien, if an alien attack comes, what is going to happen and all that, because, you know, if you're the type to take the Bible literally, or used to take the Bible literally, or have a lot of people that take the Bible literally, well, the only way you should worry about aliens is if you take the Bible literally, is my opinion. That's the only way you should take the Bible literally, is if you believe in aliens. Because if you don't believe in aliens, how was I going to word that? Because that God of that Bible could be coming back, and he might take the form of an alien. It's not going to look like it did back then, however you perceive back then to look. It's going to be in today's terms, and it's going to be technology. And even if it was something faked by the government, it's going to look like that. So that's the only reason to fear aliens. Likewise, I think it's more logical to think that the minute we had the idea in our head that there could be extraterrestrials in space, well then thought form started going. And then when movies, Hollywood, expands on that, gives our subconscious some context, a visual to attach to that idea, right? Because if you just have an idea, you should have an idea, and your fucking subconscious mind can make up its own shit. Because obviously the people that create movies, that creativity comes from somewhere. But, you know, and then that's how it works and expands our ideas of these ideas, basically, whenever, you know, before we had the internet and blogs and people and fear-based media and all this shit, that's how things would expand initially. We would only have the movies to paint the picture basically for us and, you know, tell our subconscious that this is real, because it doesn't know the difference between real and fake, basically. But anyways, now that we have entire channels, TV fucking subscribers thing, shows that you can subscribe to and watch and shit like that, dedicated to just aliens. I mean, fuck, that's a big narrative to fucking paint, man. And give your subconscious mind a bunch of ideas about how to do and what to believe and this and that. But anyways, so that was the main focus of that episode, was just to get people out of fucking fear, mainly. And to just fucking do you. Don't fucking live out someone else's manifestation and get fucked over by it. Yeah, that's all I ever really want, is everybody out of fear. You know, you take up magic to conquer your fucking fears if you want. You don't have to. There's power in so many other things that you can do, but I look at magic as the conquering of one's thoughts, at least in the beginning anyways. That's like the biggest step, is to realize that your thoughts don't come from you. And when you realize your thoughts don't come from you, it might be like, well, fuck, well, then who the fuck is sending me this shit? And can you ever really answer that question? Probably fucking not. But the fact of the matter is we are being told what to think. Now, I don't get into conspiracy stuff much because, like I say often, I don't fucking know. And I'm a big enough man to admit when I don't fucking know something, or when I'm fucking wrong. But what I do know is you can go down the path of like, well, where are these thoughts coming from? And start speculating and starting conspiracies and this and that. But the only thing you can know, kind of like I said before, the 9/11 thing, people focus on the details when The only thing we do know is that we were lied to about it. We don't know how. We don't know to what extent. We don't know what the real truth is. We don't know what really happened, what it was really about. All we have are theories. The one thing we know, we can almost say certainly, is that we were lied to. That the plane that crashed into there by these men because of this reason is false. That's not what happened. There was explosives used. Whether or not there was a plane that crashed there, that might be true, but I don't think so. But that, once again, that's not what you can prove. But what you can prove is that the men that were apparently on that plane, or the one plane anyways, did not fucking, their passports, some of them were still alive. Therefore, maybe all of them are still alive. Not only that, I mean, the DC one, apparently the fucking oil, the jet fuel vaporized the whole fucking plane. Yet there was teeth and shit found there. Same with in New York. The fucking ground zero was still like malted steel a few days, maybe even a week after the incident. Yet there was passports completely fine found just beside it. So happened to be. You know what I mean? It was just fucked up. Everybody knows that we were lied to about that. And this is no different, okay? Now, we're not necessarily being lied to directly, saying that, oh, yeah, your thoughts are your own. You don't have no reason to think otherwise. Your thoughts are your own. I mean, that's putting a thought in your head. But what we can know, what we do know, is we have the choice. What you realize in magic, I got cut off there when the car shut off, is that you have the choice. And it's a huge step of liberation when you realize that you can pick your thoughts. And what happens after that is even more profound, because when you start picking your thoughts and banishing the ones you don't want, for whatever reason, now I've given plenty of theories of why you'll get the same thought over and over again that you have to keep banishing, and how it helps organize your mind, and everything you've accepted in the past or saw or picked up from somewhere is a thought in your mind. And then when you become in the right frequency or right emotional state or into the same circumstances again, then those thoughts will come back up. Whether that's you high on cocaine, feeling paranoid, or that's you in love, or again, for the 7th time in your life, let's say, and you're getting the same emotions you got the 6 previous times, okay? Or, you're high and you think the cops are about to bust in your door because you're all paranoid on coke. Doesn't matter. You're in 2 different states there, fear and love. And the feelings you get are all about the same that are coming to you, basically. And, you either have to accept them or you have to banish them. All right? But that's the one thing you realize. That's the one thing I can tell you with certainty, just like I can tell you with certainty that we were lied to about the 9/11 thing. Regardless, and I mean, I could even be wrong about that. The whole fucking thing could be fake. Who knows? Maybe no one died. Maybe no plane crashed. Maybe it was just an explosion and they just faked everything else. I don't know. I didn't see the fucking aftermath. I didn't see ground zero. I didn't see none of that shit. Who knows? They could have paid off everybody who was there around ground zero that saw what was going on. The whole thing could be a fucking act. 100 square fucking miles, 100 square miles around the Twin Towers and, that whole place could have been bought and paid for and told everybody to be on the general vicinity and have actors there. And, they could have did it 7 months prior to the actual Twin Towers thing happening, and then videotaped it, and then, fucking, who knows, man? If people think they fucking faked the moon launching and recorded that somewhere, who's to know that they didn't do that with the Twin Towers? They didn't record it somewhere else. People think that they can take the footage from that day and figure shit out, but I'm here to tell you that, man, if I was trying to do conspiracies and plots, I'd be thinking 20 times ahead of your ass. But anyways, what we do know, okay, what I can say for certainty, like I said, there's a lie there. We've been lied to about that. That's the one certainty thing. And I know that's vague and that sucks, but that's it. That's all we know. Therefore, all your assumptions after that should come from that basis. And it shouldn't matter on if it was this or that or these people or those people or this group or that group or this evil or that evil. It should just matter that whoever told you the lie is a liar, and you should no longer trust them anymore. Because once you can't trust somebody for one thing, you can't trust them all for anything. Now, that's not the case with your loved ones, because if you love somebody, know somebody, family members, then you know how they were before they did this lie. And, you know, it's hard to be like, okay, well, maybe they lied to me about all these things, and maybe they are a stranger. But that's a bit of a different circumstance. But when it comes to a government official who doesn't know you, and you're just a number two, and you're just going to trust them, and then you find out they lied to you, well then yeah, you should no longer give them that trust unless they earn it back somehow with some kind of reparation. But likewise, the only thing we know is we can flick the switch, and this comes from Frederick Xavier in his first video or second video. You can flick the switch from accept or deny, yes or no. And what you find out when you start doing this flick switch thing, when you start rejecting, banishing, denying all those bad thoughts, whether it's from I reject, banish, deny that my daughter is going to wake up tonight, and I accept the thought that she's going to sleep right till 7 a.m. the next day, and give the date, and I will thee, so mote be, harm free, and then blah 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 blah, magical name, real name, whether it's something like that, as elaborate as that, or just when you start getting these thoughts in your head of oh, you're going to have such a stressful night, or oh, you don't know how you're going to get these bills. Or no, I banish it. I banish all these thoughts. Banish them all. Gone. No, I do not. Don't say I don't accept these thoughts. I banish these thoughts, because the do not does not work. Do not does not work, right? What does do not mean? It means it doesn't work. It means it doesn't work. And that's the best definition for that. It means, so if you say, I do not like that, it means that doesn't work. So you like that, is what you're telling your mind. Anyways, I banish all those thoughts, and you can just accept the ones you do like. Oh, I'm going to have a good day today. Yeah, I accept that thought. Oh, this is going to be interesting. Yeah, I accept that thought. Oh, maybe I'll see an old friend there. Yeah, I accept that thought. Maybe I'll find some money. Yeah, I accept that thought. Hey, maybe you'll win $1,000 in this ticket. Yeah, I accept that thought. Instead of saying, no, you probably just wasted your money again. No, I banished that thought. I banished that thought. This is what you got to do. When you start doing that, you start changing your reality just by accepting and banishing thoughts. And you can say, well, how the fuck could that be? Well, those thoughts predict your day. So if you start accepting all these thoughts about how your day's going to suck, you're too tired to work, you have no energy, you have no good food, you're not going to get paid enough, people at work are conspiring against you. If you accept all those thoughts, then your whole day is skewed by that. Regardless if you think you actually create your reality or not with your words, it doesn't matter. You're going to be in a perpetual state of, well, let's just say negative emotion, because most people understand the fear as negative, even though I don't believe in negative being a bad thing or positive being a good thing. But anyways, I've had multiple videos about that. Go look them up. I say videos, but I mean podcast episodes, ceremonial witchcraft episodes about that. But let's just use that for simplicity today, okay? It'll be a negative emotion all day. Because if it's not one thing, let's say you prove the one thing wrong, well, you still accepted all those other things. Let's say you find out, well, people aren't conspiring against me. People are actually being nice to me. Well, then you might start accepting a thought or two, like by default, mind you, because most people just don't think they can control it, and they think their thoughts are their own, which is probably one of the biggest conspiracies out there. But once again, you can't prove that, because the people alive right now might not even know that's true or not. So who the fuck knows? I know it's true. I know my thoughts aren't my own. I know they come from somewhere else. I know that once I aim myself at a specific idea, that I will get more thoughts about that idea, but once again, they're not generated from me. I can say what I think, and I can, in my head, come up with the knowledge I was learned through school or whatever, to come up with thoughts, sentences, and words. But the thoughts that I get randomly and that I expand on are not my own. But anyways, so this is just kind of like this is a segue into, like, I guess the alien stuff I forgot. So I'll just keep going. But well, whenever you accept whenever you accept a negative thought, or you banish away a positive thought, then your day is without that circumstance, that from happening, because it's not even a possibility now. Because all possibilities start as thoughts. They start somewhere else and then get sent to you, and then you get to choose if you want it or not. It's kind of how it works. It's like you have You know how people say you have all these multiple realities and you get to pick? Well, this is how you pick your multiple realities. Which one do you want? Do you want the one where you're in a good mood and you're enjoying life and things are working out? And then, you know, even when bad things happen that are kind of outside of your control, you still make the best of the situation? Or do you want the one that when something bad happens, it kills you, it knocks you down, then even when things start looking up, you still find a way to stay down? Well, that's your choice once again. You get to pick out of those options. The options are not necessarily chosen by you, but the rest of it is. And to me, this is the only free will that exists. You have the free will at the very level that you can either accept or banish how you think your world is going to come. Or, better way to put that is, you get to pick and choose how the thoughts that you don't think, okay, the thoughts that come to you, you get to pick which ones play out. And whether it means you're going to turn right or left, you're going to turn right instead of left. You always turn left and you never find money. Then all of a sudden you turn right and you find money. Or you found the person you were looking for, your soulmate. Or you find a realtor that's going to find you a house and take a chance with your shitty credit score. Whatever the case is. Doesn't matter if you think that's magic or not. That's how this shit works. Bunch of little things add up to make big things. So all day long, there's something somewhere else, elusive, elsewhere. And maybe it's just your subconscious mind setting this all up for you. I don't know. But there's something setting up all these circumstances to get you to where it thinks you want to be. It's a circle once again within this circle. So by the thoughts you accept and reject, it continuously tries to aim you where you're going. So if you're continuously in a shitty, depressed state, continuously accepting shitty, depressing bullshit, continuously watching shitty, depressing bullshit that may or may not be true, that probably don't even come from the people that are thinking it up, then your mind's going to keep giving you those situations. You're still going to keep getting that because that's where it thinks you want to go. It's like, well, he's focusing on this is what he likes, so this is what we're going to keep giving him. Because obviously what you accept is what you want, and what you don't accept is what you don't want, right? Or sorry, what you banish is what you don't want, what you accept is what you want. Therefore, if you're accepting something over and over again, it's what you want. But you don't know that you have this power for whatever reason. You don't know that you get to say no, or I banish that thought. See, it's even trickery within trickery. We have an English language that we can't just say no to those thoughts and they go away because that's a negative, and negative speech is like nothingness. It doesn't work. And we have all these other words and ways of saying it that are supposed to sound better and be cooler. And we're taught and it's promoted. Sarcasm has been promoted for I don't know how long. Yet sarcasm is basically saying something positive in a negative fucking way. Oh yeah, I really love that. Which you're basically saying, no, I fucking hate that. You're trying to say something, not necessarily a positive meaning behind the outcome, but you're trying to get to the point by saying, you know, I don't like that, or that's something. See what I just did it within there. I hated that is the positive way of saying that statement, which means you're getting your intent across. Okay, so that's what I mean by positive. Turn the light on, it's on. Turn the light off, it's off. It's not yes and no, it's on and off. Yes and no questions are really just yes and yes questions, really, because you can say no to shit all you want, but doesn't mean you're not accepting it. Anyways, I got some shit to do, but, well, you won't notice anyways. Alright, so you might be asking, why the fuck is he going through the banishing thing again? He already went over this in detail, and, we want new shit. Well, it's always important to fucking go back and, review shit you previously learnt, and that you might be forgetting, because I'm certainly guilty of this, like, every single day going forward, and I really got to check myself so I don't wreck myself. But what I mean is, because of the fact that I watch stuff every single day, I'm trying to learn more every single fucking day. Things, if they're not in my ritual practice, and what I mean by that is if it's not something I've been doing every day for a long period of time now, therefore it's not, like, anchored in my subconscious mind to the point where it's something I have to do every day that gets done whether I want to or not. That is part of who I am now, which is my ritual practice, magic, meditation, all that's been implemented into my daily routine. However, meditation especially is something that I know I should do every day. And even if I do it for 20 days or more in a row, there's still these points at time where if I'm not doing my ritual for whatever reason, maybe I'm taking a break because, I'm getting a little too depolarized and, not really feeling much, or whatever the case may be, that I'm not doing my ritual magic, our ritual, my ritual exercises every day, which basically what I mean by that is my middle pillar and all that. Those are the same days that I don't meditate too. I tend to not think that meditation, I don't need to meditate if I'm not doing ritual magic. And they're both separate things, however, they can both accomplish the same ends. Because you can manifest things using meditation, because you're basically getting in touch with that other side of your mind. What would happen would be, if you were to use meditation, this is just a small little offshoot, and not what I'm talking about, but if you do want to meditate or manifest using meditation, I suggest doing the first bit of your practice, doing all your doing your meditation, whatever way you do it, whether it's focusing on one idea or emptying out your mind, or if you're doing like I do most days, I do the microcosmic orbit, and that puts me into my meditative state. By the time the microcosmic orbit's done, whether I'm listening to the recording on YouTube, which works fantastic, by the way, or just doing it in my head because I know the procedure now by heart because I've been doing it so often. Once that's all done, I'm in that state. Like, I'm already there. I'm ready to go. Plus, the flow of energy around me, inside of me, my chakras, everything is all wide open. So I'm ready to receive, right? But the reason why ritual magic is used more to manifest things is because it's a projection, a projective ritual, instead of a receiving ritual. Meditation is a receiving ritual. You are receiving healing. You are receiving a calm state of mind. You are receiving a neutral, or you're trying to receive a neutral emotional state. You are receiving knowledge, wisdom from yourself, from your subconscious mind. So, you're basically shutting up your conscious mind so your subconscious can talk. And that's true whether you're focusing on one thing or you're trying to empty out your mind, which are the two probably most popular one. Most popular being emptying your mind. And I think that's just because of the fact that they're trying to make meditation, whoever they are. There is a they out there. And the way I speak, I sometimes come off as if I say the Illuminati or elites or whoever's running this bitch, this world, this plane, is doing it in our best interests. And I do believe that. Even if they don't know that, I still think it's in our best interest. But where was I going with that? Jesus. So by popularizing the idea of getting everything out of your mind, that's a harder thing to do. The practice of being able to keep your mind empty is something that only comes with continuous meditation. And this to me is a big deception, or what's the word that means, Anyways, point I'm trying to say is to empty out your mind is meditating, so it's not technically a lie. However, that's a stage you get to, I think. And you first have to start off with just trying to focus on one thing. However, if you do practice that way, you can still receive results, and you can still do it right off the hop. And it'd be more beneficial to you, because if you go from trying to empty your mind, it's going to take you longer to get to any long state of time where emptying your mind, depending on how you are. If you're someone who's got ADD or even worse, ADHD, it's going to be very hard to do that. And you might get disappointed or think meditation doesn't even exist. And that's the way I was, so I had to do the one thing at a time way. But there were moments in time, especially if I've taken Ritalin or something like that, where my mind was already pretty slow. And I didn't have a million thoughts coming to me. I think in a weird way, medication like Ritalin, cocaine, which isn't a medication, but even your speeds, which is the same as Ritalin, same class. It's the same class of drug. Can't think of the name, but amphetamines. Okay, speed is a methamphetamine, which means it has the same that's not what it means, but it has the same characteristics and made from stuff that crystal meth is made from. However, a very small, low dose. A lot of crystal meth will fuck you up. Not that it's a bad thing, but drugs aren't bad or good. They're there to give people the release when they need it. However, if abused and taken too much, then those people, that becomes their norm. And anytime a drug altered state becomes your norm, you're going to have fucking problems. But anyways, so trying to get back on the topic, just finished my idea. The idea of emptying out your mind is not for everyone in the beginning. However, when I do the microcosmic orbit, I'm focusing on what the guy says. Okay, and this is why I still go back to the tape, because it refreshes my mind and keeps the practice in itself the way it was meant to be done, as according to that video anyways, because there's various ways to do the microcosmic orbit exercise, and this is just one way that really helps me focus and tune in to what's going on. So even though I know the process by heart, if I do it by myself without the thing in the background telling me what's the next step, if I get lost into ideas, thought, which happens in meditation, you start focusing on only one thing, and then all of a sudden your mind's talking to you. And how is it talking to you? Well, it's showing you pictures of other people, it's showing you other things, it's telling you ideas of things you have to do later or whatever, and then all of a sudden it's like, wait a minute, I'm not even supposed to be doing this, fuck. Okay, and you get back into your zone. Well, this is meditation. Taking the mind where it's telling you where to go, where it's talking to you and giving you those pictures, you're consciously bringing it back to what you want. Okay, so you're basically taking back your mind and not letting your mind rule you. And you can say, well, Corey, I thought the point was to get your mind to talk to you. Yeah, that is the point. But you don't want your mind talking to you in every fucking way, all at the same time, and never hearing it because it's like 10 people talking at once. And that's the way our minds are. Now, I'm not going to say that's because of overstimulation, because of the way our society is, because of TV and all this. However, I do have a big inclination that that's probably one of the reasons it's like that. But we could have been born like this. And the reason people make TV and stuff like that is to help drown out that noise. You know, and that's a perfectly reasonable assumption. Instead of saying that TV was made just to kill us or dumb us down or brainwash us, it could have simply been made because people have too many voices going on in their head. And when they watch TV, that goes away because they're able to focus on only one thing. And the noise in the background fades away because even your subconscious mind is taken by what's going on and it's watching the TV, it's learning. So, but when you start meditating, it's like, oh, fuck, he's finally shut up. I can talk. And it wants to talk over and over and over and over and over again. Well, if your subconscious mind is continuously talking and doing things that you aren't in control of, then how much control are you going to have over your reality? Well, not very fucking much, right? Because if you can't even stop your conscious mind or your subconscious mind from talking whenever you want to be quiet, then you won't be able to control anything in your life because you can do all the rituals you want, but if your subconscious mind is continuously throwing things at you that you're accepting or banishing, and, you know, the reverse needs to be done. So you're accepting negative thoughts and behaviors and actions, and you're rejecting positive thoughts, behaviors, and actions, meaning anything good that you think about, you also think at the same time that will never happen to you. So therefore, you don't accept that. And all the things that can happen, bad situations that can happen to you, you think at the same time, well, that is the most likely way to happen. So instead of banishing, getting rid of that, and making it not a possibility, you make that a possibility, and you make the one you really want not a possibility. I hope I'm making that clear. And so you can ask for money, but if every time a thought comes in your head saying, hey, Corey, we want you to win off this lottery ticket, buy a lottery ticket. And you say, no, there's no point, I'm not going to fucking win anyways. I never win one of those things. Well, you just cursed yourself. You know what I mean? And is it a curse because you said it out loud and your words have power? Or is it a curse because you just banished away the idea of you winning money? Well, that doesn't matter. Look at it either way. It doesn't matter. Whichever way helps you understand it, look at it that way. Okay? I'm more inclined to believe the thought thing. However, I think there is power in words. Especially if other people put power in words. Then yeah, you can use those words they have power in and fucking use it against them. Because as soon as someone believes something, you can use that to manipulate them and okay, what do you believe? Okay, well, I believe words have powers and magic spells and you can hypnotize people. Okay, boom, you're hypnotized. And that person will fucking drop. I've seen it. I've never done it, but I've seen people do it. Fucking David Snyder is great at that. Because so many people believe he's so good and knows what he's doing that he can just say, go to sleep. And the person goes to sleep. You know what I mean? It's fucking amazing. Fucking amazing. And it's all the power that is put into them. the power he's using is not his own. It's the power that people give him. You know what I mean? But anyways, that's another video for another time. But so by meditating, emptying out your mind constantly, you're not working on one idea. Whereas I think it's more beneficial to tell your subconscious mind, this is what I want to concentrate on. And this way you have something to go back and forth to. Because you have something to know, like, okay, this wasn't what I was doing. And maybe it's just me, but I've had meditations before where I'm trying to empty my mind completely, and I start getting on these thoughts, topics, I start seeing these things, and I start running with it to the point where I come out of it, and it's like, what was I doing? Was I taking a nap? What was I doing? I was meditating? I was trying to do a ritual? What was I doing? Like, I had no idea. But by always having a goal, either asking my subconscious mind a question, or trying to focus on something, or trying to open all these energy centers and doing the microcosmic orbit to cleanse my energy and make the flow regular. And by the way, the more I do the microcosmic orbit, the more energy around me is being manipulated and fucked with. And I'm not saying I have that power because it's not me, but because I open those channels of energy and it's flowing properly, or so much as I believe it's properly this way, this is proper, things just happen around me that are just weird and you cannot even explain. And not super crazy things, very subtle things, but like I said, things are falling off the fridge that, there's no reason for things to fall. Something falls off the fridge, off the corner of the fridge, it goes straight down basically. While I push things over because that kept happening. So I push it far over to the center of the fridge where if it was to fall, it's one of those Glade spray things, right? The Glade thing is to spray shit in the air. With all this coronavirus nonsense. Lysol tends to say it can get rid of the coronavirus. And if you read the back of the Lysol, the ones we have here in Canada at least, I haven't seen corona on it, but it does have H1N1 and various other diseases. I think even herpes or something like that's on there. Because it kills viruses. What is corona? It's a coronavirus. It kills viruses. It kills 99% of viruses and bacteria, is what Lysol says. And that's just because, like any smart person and an advertiser, they're not going to use absolutes, because once you use an absolute, meaning 100%, well, if someone claims that they use Lysol and it didn't kill 100% and they can prove it, then you are liable for them getting sick. Therefore, they can sue you. So if you don't use an absolute such as 100%, you use 99.9, well, then someone can say, hey, I used your product and I got sick. Well, you must be that 0.1 case that we talk about. Okay, so who knows? Maybe it doesn't kill them all. Maybe it does kill them all, but that's just a protection measure. Point is, that's the thing on top of the fridge killing the coronavirus, right? And take this for what it is. It's just me rambling, but I have a pentagram on my neck. It's a protection necklace. It doesn't mean Satanism. It doesn't mean none of that. It's for protection. It's for my gratitude to the 5 elements, spirit being the top, and the rest being, air, fire, wind, or air, fire, earth, and water, okay? That's my respect to them, and out of adoration for them and the fact that I respect and honor them and I wear it on my neck, I have protection because that is a protection symbol, but this is a quid pro quo, basically. Okay, so what happens if your chain breaks or your pendulum, or the pendant actually breaks, or it keeps falling off? Well, this is a sign that someone is trying to send either psychic energy or curses, or trying to attack you, basically. And I've talked about this before, and there was one point in time where I believed I was being cursed or had a curse. And I didn't think anybody was throwing on me or anything like that. Someone out there magically inclined was doing it on purpose. But I did believe that people were thinking negatively about me. Whether it was at my old job talking about me, whether it's family members, whether exes, who knows. There's at least 3 of my exes now that I know are into magic and tarot. So there's a very good chance that they're trying to turn me into a frog or some fucked up shit back wherever the fuck they are. I don't know. I hope they're more balanced than that, because I wouldn't do that to them, even though, out of the 3, one of them I really don't like. But I don't hate her either, because everything she did to me was necessary to make me who I am. But that's another story. So every time that falls, every time my necklace breaks, it tells me, okay, there's someone around attacking me. But the necklace protected me. However, malevolence gets a piece of you, right? Like the story about Horus. Horus defeats his uncle Set, but he loses an eye doing it. The one eye Illuminati symbol. Why? Well, that's where that's derived from. You can watch a movie and figure that out. Scar's got a scratch over the one eye as well. People say, oh, Illuminati, they're showing in the movie. That has nothing to do with that. My God. But anyways, so my pendant saved me, but as soon as it breaks, I need to fix it, put it back on. And then more than that, I'll go into my head if I'm out in public or something like that, and I'll reconsecrate it at my altar, in my head, wherever the fuck I am. It doesn't matter. My mind transcends time and space. So if I'm out in the person somewhere, if I step, like I said before, if I step out of the circle and I didn't realize it because I fell asleep in a circle, well, what I do is sometimes I'll physically walk back to where I was when I was in the circle, but sometimes I can't do that because I'm too far away from home and, you know, whatever. So I stop whatever I'm doing, or I've done it even while driving, but it's fucking tricky. But in my mind's eye, I see myself in reverse, going back throughout the day to the point where I woke up, where I technically got out of my circle. I put myself down. I finish my ritual. I close the circle, and then I visualize myself going right to the point in time where I actually am. And boom, no harm, no foul. Because I can't tell you if demons will attack you if you step outside the circle or not. However, there's a lot of people that put a lot of power and energy into saying that, and a lot of people that believe that. Therefore, on some level, there's something there, and whether or not you believe it or not is irrelevant. If there's enough people that believe something that you don't, then that has power. So never disregard something a bunch of people believe. There's power in numbers. This is why there's power in numbers. It doesn't matter. Everybody in this assembly can believe that turkey, like a frozen meat, like cuts of meat, let's just say mock chicken. Mock chicken, if you eat mock chicken, you will heal cancer. If you have enough people believe in that, and there's someone with cancer there, and that person with cancer ultimately believes that mock chicken will cure its cancer, all right? And everybody believing it, everybody witnessing it, okay? Boom. You're going to see results. More than that, if you put it online for other people to see and their minds get involved just by affecting other people's minds, and you tell them that the cancer got reduced by that, therefore, their minds are now involved in it. So you have everybody who's there, the power and the numbers together, and then everybody who's also part of the collective consciousness elsewhere, seeing that, putting more energy into it. Whether it's fear or love, it doesn't matter. But as long as they put their energy into it, you're going to add, and more healing will come about it. You know, if you are somebody who has cancer, you got nothing to lose in going online and start saying that you are healed. And make up a way that heals you. Start doing that way as people start watching your shit and putting energy into it. And what do you got to lose, right? If you got terminal cancer and you're dying anyways, you might as well give it a shot and see if I'm fucking right. See if it actually starts going away or reducing. What the fuck do you have to lose? If I'm wrong, well, you're just going to die anyways, right? But at least it gives you something to do, something to think about, something to focus on. And when you're not making the videos talking about how whatever thing you made up healed you, if you're not talking about that, don't fucking think about it. Let the other mind work at it. Let your subconscious mind work at it. Trick your own subconscious mind into fixing yourself. Tell your subconscious mind that if I do this, it'll heal my cancer. Do that for 21 days or more. So you make a program and a programming inside your body that can heal you. Then go online, get other people's minds in it. Make a sigil so other people around your house see it, that you are healed from this means. And do the fucking thing you're doing. Listen to your videos when you go to sleep about yourself being healed in your own fucking voice. You do this repetitively for whatever time you have left. Okay? I won't even say 21 days. If you only have 2 weeks, we'll do it for 2 weeks. If you got 3 months, then do it for the whole fucking 3 months. But if you don't stick to it and you go back and just complain that you're dying, well, you got nobody to blame but your fucking self. And I know that's mean and rude and insensitive because, you know, if you're someone dying of cancer, I mean, that's a mean thing to say. But if you're going to sit there and be a little bitch and complain about it and not fucking do anything, then sorry, but you might deserve to die. You know what I mean? People like to trash doctors and all that, and I get it to a certain extent. But the person who's going to the doctor and getting treatment, they're trying to fight for their life. And there's nothing wrong with that. And I don't like talking bad about doctors because if someone like that hears that, or someone you know fought and died and went to the doctor, it's pretty insensitive to say the doctor killed them and shit like that to me. But, you know, go see your doctor and try it. Who knows? It can't fucking hurt. You don't want to make something up, if you're not creative enough, then go online and look at one of the many other ways that cure cancer. Take the most popular one with the most testimonials of people getting cured and take that on and do that one and listen to those things as much as you can every single fucking day for whatever time you got left, but a minimum of 3 weeks, I'd say, and see if you don't get results. And you really want to amplify that, do every single one that you can possibly do. Do them all, every day, all day. Your health and everything else in your body might decrease. You might not get sleep. You might not eat enough. But at least you'll get rid of your fucking cancer. And then you can work on the other fucking things. Cancer is nothing more but a life fucking lesson that people need to learn. And I know that's fucked up to say, and I'm not trying to be a dick about it. I really hate that disease. But we have the power to reverse these effects. People are doing it, and it doesn't matter if... Because chicken and egg, what came first? The fucking cure of the disease. What came first? The person who found the cure? So, how do I say that? What came first? All right? The realization that, let's just use marijuana, that smoking marijuana or using marijuana oils or the essence of marijuana, however you use it, did we know that cured cancer? Or did someone have cancer first, tried the marijuana, and then got cured, and then assumed it was the marijuana that cured their cancer? Which one happened first? Well, in this day and age, it's very likely that they got cancer. A bunch of people had to die from cancer to the point where they said, well, we don't give a fuck. Let the person get high, smoke dope, and and then boom, their cancer got cured. And the newest thing they added to their diet, because they haven't changed anything else, was they were smoking pot. So therefore, we say the pot cured them. Or is it more likely that the balanced state of mind, the being happy in a really traumatic time, the forgetting about being sick, being high, being in an altered state of mind, altered state of consciousness, which marijuana does do for you, is that more likely to be the one that would cure you? I don't know, but it doesn't matter. Enough people believe that marijuana cures them that people are getting cured from marijuana. So who fucking knows? Who fucking cares? I don't know where I was going with all that. I think it was all about meditation and the mind, and how if you don't, meditate and try to empty your mind, if you can do it, it's beneficial. But I think it's somewhere you have to end up. And somehow I got to cancer. But that's just the logic of my fucking mind. But anyways, so meditation is the negative process, meaning you are receiving information, whereas your ritual magic is the positive aspect of it. So this technique that Frater Xavier was the first one I heard talk about it, but realized he got it from the book Kabbalah and the Great Work of Self-Transformation within the first neophyte curriculum grade. That's one of the first exercises that it says to do. And if you need more proof of what I'm saying, go to Frater Xavier's YouTube page, listen to his videos, first few ones, and he'll explain it better. And then listen to his mailbags. I mean, not every single mailbag, but I'd say, I don't know. At least a third of his mailbags have at least one, and definitely more, letters that say that one practice alone changed their life. Brought them from nothing to something. Brought them from chaos to order. Brought them from down depressed state to better. Because once again, it's secular. If you're only thinking about negative things, then your mind's going to keep giving you negative things because that's all you think about is negative things. What came first? You thinking about negative things or the negative things manifesting? Well, obviously you thought about it first for it to manifest, but maybe you were born in a shitty, negative situation. And once again, I don't think as negative as bad. I really think of it as push and pull and a direction of flow. Negative is pulling stuff into you. Projection is pushing it out of you. But for simplicity purposes, I'm using negative in the form as bad just for this episode for simplicity. That's it. So if you were born in a bad situation where your family was poor, you might have been abused, father or mother died or left you or called you things, abused you physically, mentally, verbally, all this shit. Well, that sucks. And that came first. So you're first in something, and all your focus and everything you learned as a child was negative, let's just say. So that came first. Therefore, going forward, that's all you're going to know, because that's all you're going to see, and it's not your fault. But now that you know what you know, it is your fault if you don't change it. It's absolutely 100% your fault if you don't try and make it better. If you decide to just stay there and complain where you're at, then you have nobody to blame but yourself. Because once again, like the thing I just said about cancer, if you have cancer, you have nothing to lose and everything to gain by trying everything you fucking read and see and hear that might cure you. Likewise, if you're depressed and your life is shit, then what do you have to lose by trying magic, rituals, meditation, and, you know, anything to cure your depression and get rid of your suicidal thoughts that might make you kill yourself. You got nothing to lose and everything to gain. So why don't you give it a shot? And, you know, just by doing this, when you're looking for something, most of the time you don't find exactly what you're looking for, but you find what you need. And then when you get what you need, eventually you get that thing you were looking for, but you don't no longer need it. So look for what you think you want. Don't just sit there and complain and tell people what you think you need and get people's pity. Have a big fucking pity party. Don't fucking do that. Go out looking for what you think you want. Whatever it is in your head that you can see that you need to make you better. Go out and get it. Go fucking try to get it. Do whatever you need. And on that path, you will get what you need instead of what you want. And this is a way of doing that. You don't have to believe me. I don't give a shit if you believe me. I don't give a fuck if anybody believes me. I don't care. It doesn't matter. I've changed my life. I know it works. I'm trying to get this out there because I feel like I need to. I feel like I need to talk about it, and I can't talk about it to anybody around me. Well, a couple friends, but anyways. But I need to get off my chest, so I get it off my fucking chest. But people need to know this. And it's not that I have the way or I know the way. This is what's real for me. But from what's real for me, you're going to figure out what's real for you. What's real for you is not what's real for me. So try the exercises. And the basic, easiest one to start with is banish, reject, deny. Now, it's hard to remind yourself to do that in the moment. Very, very hard. So I first say, well, if you can't remember to banish shit away when you're mad, or you're just so mad you just can't do it because you don't care, and trust me, I know how that feels because that's the way I was too when I first started the curriculum. It took me a long time to get this under control. And I'm not trying to deter anybody from it because I really want people to try this, and I want people to think it's too hard so they don't even try. But I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It's not easy. It's not easy to continuously be in check and do it. But like I said earlier, with when I step outside the circle, I go back in time in my mind. You can do that as well. If you're pissed off, you dealt with something poorly, you yelled at somebody, you said something you don't regret, go back in time in your mind and banish the thought before you maybe do the action or something like that. That's one thing you can try to do and go forward and try to remember it. You can make a sigil to help you remind yourself to banish, reject, deny anything you perceive negative. But you don't want to leave it up to your subconscious mind to pick what's negative and positive because it doesn't know. Or if it does know, then you don't know. Whatever. I'm not trying to insult my subconscious mind or any subconscious mind. So I don't want to say it does know what's negative or positive. I think it's irrelevant to it what's negative or positive. Just like it's irrelevant what's real or fake. You know, you can sit there all day and be like, your subconscious mind doesn't know what's real or fake. How stupid can it be? But it's like, well, no. It's not the stupid one. You're the stupid one. Because you think this is real. And the dream is fake. But yet, the dream can be more real. Because when you die, there's good documentation of people for near death, after death, or death, dead on the table, revived, having dreams. Yet their body is dead. So therefore, what's more real? The fucking body or the dream you have when your body is still dead? Yet you were somewhere. You fucking tell me. Where does that logic take you? Yeah, that's a fucking dark place to go. But a very enlightening place. Because you can only become enlightened whenever shit's dark. And someone shines a light. But you want to fucking figure some shit out? Go down that fucking rabbit hole. Go down the rabbit hole of DMT and shit like that. People just say, well, you didn't get past the DMT trip. And Frederick Xavier, God bless that man. He fucking changed my life. And he has got 2 videos on the whole DMT afterlife thing. How he doesn't know what happens. But the point of magic is to practice dream work, astral projection, lucid dreaming, and all that shit. In case hermetics, magicians, witches, and the like are correct that when you die, it's more like a dream state of mind, the DMT trip. And if you can't control your dreams and whatever's in your subconscious mind, if you spend 90 some years not trying to understand, learn, control, or do anything with your subconscious mind, then when you die, whatever's in your subconscious mind is going to happen to you. That's a fucking scary thought, especially if you're about to retire or, you know, even older than that, or, you know, late 40s or something like that. That's a fucking scary thought. That's one of the thoughts that put me where I am right now. And I'm only fucking like that. That's a fucking scary thought. That's one of the thoughts that put me where I am right now. And I'm only fucking 33. I turned 34 this year. But I'm like, man, I don't know how much time I have. I can have another 80 years. I can have another 50 years. I can have another 5 days. It doesn't matter. But I'm not even ready to go right now. So put that into perspective of where you are with your dream work. Have you even started a dream journal? Well, then what the fuck are you doing? You can worry about money and all this material shit all you want. But when you're dead, none of that matters. And I know that's something a lot of people say, and it's like, okay, but we're here now. We have to worry about it. Absolutely. I fucking believe that 100%. But you can't be worrying about only money all day fucking long. Bad enough you work 8 hours of your day trying to make that money, then you're going to go home and worry about it even more. You wasted enough fucking time working for money. The money's coming. The bills are there. And you worrying about it is not going to change a damn thing. Try to change your fucking dreams so you can fucking work your way around when you're in a dream. So that if you die and it's like a dream, then you're not fucked. Because that, like I said, purgatory was something invented later on. But let's say and pretend there is a purgatory. Well, to me, purgatory would be all the motherfuckers out there that can't navigate in the afterlife, the ghosts, the spirits, the hauntings, that shit. Well, that might be where it is. These people are stuck in purgatory, and it's so overpacked that some of them have to stay here on Earth. Kind of like wintertime jail. People go to jail just to get off the streets in the wintertime because they don't have homes and shit like that. They get a cooked meal, place to stay, warm shower instead of freezing on the street. Because a lot of people that think jail is bad, no, being alone and cold on the street all fucking winter is a way worse jail than actual jail. 100%. That's why people do crimes, just to go to jail. But anyways, that would be a purgatory to me. It would be all the people that didn't learn this technique, these techniques, didn't know how to do this shit. And now they're just stuck trying to figure it out when they're only their subconscious mind. How the fuck are you going to do anything when you're only subconscious mind? You're like a baby, a child, an animal. You can't do a fucking thing. You can't figure this out. Whatever's been programmed into you, you will do. Like my dog. My dog is all subconscious mind. I have her programmed that if I yell, she comes. If I whistle, she comes. Whenever someone's near the house, she barks. Whenever I open the door, she goes right to the yard. All right? And whenever I call her, she comes out of the yard up on the gate. If she happens to get loose, she has to sit on the front veranda or go to the back deck. The back deck gate isn't open to go on the front veranda until someone lets her in and not go off the property. If she's out there and someone walks by, she's allowed to bark but not run up to him. Now, she sometimes breaks that rule. And she knows it. But she also knows that when she breaks rules, I'm going to yell and that she's in trouble. And that's why when she does something like that, she has a different stage of emotion. All this has been programmed into my dog, which is just subconscious mind. So that's all she can act out. She's not going to start talking, and she's not going to do anything. She, from a young age, learned how to open up gates and knows if I'm not looking, she can open up the gate and she'll get in trouble. But sometimes the trouble is better than being stuck in the yard the whole time. So she can learn to do some things on her own. But for the most part, she only does what I've put in her mind, what I've taught her to do. That's it. So whatever you've learned, if you learned that good and evil means heaven or hell, which means if you think based on your own judgment that you are a bad person, then you will put yourself in hell. Probably why the tarot card with the devil has the couple. Well, I mean, among other reasons, it's a play on marriage and all that. But the devil card has the married couple in chains, but it's around their neck and their hands are fucking free. They can get out anytime they want. It doesn't fucking matter. They put themselves in chains down there in hell together. And you can say that's marriage, that's monogamy, or maybe that's just the idea of Satan in hell. But I'd say yes to all three. And, imagine putting yourself in hell when it doesn't even exist. When instead of going to hell, you could do whatever the fuck you want. It's infinite. There's any number of things you can do. Yet you suffered all for your life here. And then when you die, you're going to suffer some more. Because most people that believe in good and hell, unless they're self-righteous fucking pricks. But most good, normal people that believe in the Bible, that learned it as a kid and work hard all day long, probably think that they're far from perfect. And if they had to judge themselves, well, probably the majority of them, 6 or 7 out of 10, would say, no, there's some things they did wrong and that they probably go to hell for. And that's based on their own standards. When I can compare them to other people and they look like fucking angels. But anyways, way off the topic here. But for anybody saying that, the subconscious mind is no real or fake, and this world's the real world and everything else is fake, well, That's my argument. And even if they throw the DMT thing, like Frater Xavier said, DMT is released, so these people didn't get past that, so they never reached the afterlife yet. Well, DMT, what if that is the afterlife? What if this body, and once again, speculation, but what if this body is made in a specific way to make DMT? Because that is the spirit molecule that connects us to the other realms. It's the only way within the physical realm that our spirit, our soul, our mind can go into that realm and keep us connected. So that when we pass, that gets released, and it's the gateway where our soul gets to leave through into another realm, dimension. Doesn't matter. We put a name on everything. DMT is not what the fucking creator who created us called it. You know what I mean? Soul is probably not even what the creator called our soul. These are all things that we put a name on, a label on, so we can have a picture of it, so we can dissect it and understand it. But none of these things are exactly what it is, because you can sit there all day long and be like, well, how could DMT, a drug, a chemical in your brain, be the way to heaven? Well, first of all, because of all your skepticism and all your programming, you think that drug means bad, therefore, how are you going to go to heaven through something bad? So right there, you're fucking skewed. But the creator, maybe that word's not drug. Maybe that word is heaven. And the word for heaven is actually drug. Because you'd have to be high to fucking believe that there's a man in the sky, and if you obey his rules, he sends you there. So that's more likely to be a drug. And DMT, and the feeling you get, and the things you see, and the gods and shit, people that go have these afterlife godly experiences when they do die, is more likely to be the fucking heaven. Because why would heaven be somewhere where you would have a body? Our bodies die, they grow, they die, they get sore, you know. But wouldn't it make more sense to be something that can't die? If heaven is the way we perceive it, that everything is great all the time, nothing is shitty, you never get pains, aches and pains, and you can be whatever age you want to be and whatever. Well, then you would have to have something like DMT that can be altered to go through all these emotions and have all these things. Heaven's not materialistic. How could it be? If heaven was materialistic, well then there's people right now on earth that have heaven, and it still doesn't fulfill them. You need a balance of many things to have a happy life, because sometimes a lot of money will make you happy, but not continuously. And then sometimes a little bit of misery will make you happy. And that's a fucked up statement to say, but I can prove it. But other times, helping people and being a service makes you happy. And putting yourself first, buying people gifts, shit like that. All these things make you happy. And you have to bounce between all of them to have a nice, happy life, basically, so to speak, in my opinion. But not just one of these things will be heaven. And you can say, okay, well then heaven would be all those things at the same time. But I'm telling you right now, if you were to bounce from the same 5 things over and over and over again, you would get bored of that and look for a different way to fucking find heaven. And then you would find spirituality. But to say heaven, if you're a poor person, you're going to think heaven is going to be like riches and parties and dope and whatever makes you happy here on earth. But if you were to get that here on earth, you would know that that's not heaven. So what I'm trying to say is anything we perceive of that's materialistic or something that we can have here on this earth, something that some people already have here on this earth, if we perceive that as heaven, then we have no idea what heaven would really be. Because anything that can be accomplished here on earth is going to be far from heaven. Now, my theory about being able to control the astral planes, using your sleep DMT release to learn how to navigate these mind states or these realms or this place that we go when we die, because that's the first thing we know. Absolutely, positively. You don't have to believe a word I'm saying. But if you look at the facts, our body produces DMT. There's DMT in plants and other living things around this earth, just like us. We're a living thing. If there's a being above us that wants to dissect us and do what we do with the plants, or eat us like we eat animals, let's just say, if there was a being bigger than us, whether you want to say giants, Nephilim, or shit like that, I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying, let's pretend there's something bigger on this earth, and they had to use our DMT, because obviously if they're bigger than us, then a little bit of DMT in a plant's not going to be enough for them, right? So they need maybe 5 humans for enough DMT to get high or something like that. Let's just say, all right? Well, they could take us and figure out the combination and the chemistry and whatever process you have to do to get the DMT so that it could still be used, but they could use us and take our DMT out of us. Or, Like we grow marijuana plants and we just keep taking the leaves off. Well, that's what the plant does. It keeps growing and it has DMT flowing through it. So you take the shit off and you do whatever you need to do to extract the DMT. Well, this planet is a planet full of people that have DMT within them, which is the way to ascend to the spiritual realms, let's just say. You know, and we have it going through us all the time. We can tap into it all the time. All you have to do is take a fucking nap. I said in my last episode, sleep is very, very something a lot of people like to do. Some people don't want to wake up from a nap. Anyways, but like mushrooms, when I started doing mushrooms, any hallucinogen basically, even acid and shit like that. I've never done acid. I'm just saying this is what I heard. And I heard about ecstasy too, but I don't think that's true or even knowledgeable but to say this. But mushrooms and other things that make you hallucinate. They say, and I learned this as a kid. I used to say this all the time too. And, you know, I never had proof of this because I'd never had a quote-unquote bad trip on mushrooms. But I've seen people in the corner, scared, crying because they're in a negative emotional state. Let's just use that word again. I hate using. But in a bad way, bad place, dark place, depressed, sad, anxious. Then they took mushrooms. And it got twice as amplified. But likewise, I've never had a trip like that. All mine were happy. Fucking great fucking time on mushrooms. I love that shit. I don't do it, but I mean, fuck. Ever have a drug that's not addictive, that you don't crave, but is just an all-around good time with no health, nothing that destroys your health and actually benefits you in some ways, health-wise. I mean, it's amazing. It's a fucking little fucking shitty tasting fucking thing, but yet it can improve parts of your life. It can make you have a good time. It's not addictive. It's not something you want to do every day. You don't even crave it. You know what I mean? It's fucked, man. It's beyond belief and doesn't even make sense. But anyways, back to what I'm saying. Facts about DMT, okay? We produce it just like the plants produce it. It's in our mind. Every time we go to sleep, DMT makes our dreams, okay? People say it comes from the third eye, comes from DMT. The answer to that is yes. Don't really know. There's different opinions, and I've listened to doctors that say both, and it's like, I don't know where to draw the line. So I'm guessing it's connected. The third eye and DMT are connected to each other. I'm not even going to pretend to know this because I know a lot about the third eye. I know enough about DMT. I know more about the third eye and the pineal gland and raising your chrism oil and shit like that. Activating the pituitary gland, which comes back over and activates pineal and shit like that to make you start seeing things or whatever. And take that for what it is because I've got more and more evidence that, yeah, anyways. But the fact about the DMT is we have it, it gets released every night, and then the biggest dose we have, like the remainder, okay, whatever was in your body, let's say, gets released when you die. Like, okay, well, we're not going to produce this anymore. We don't need this anymore, so here you go. Boom. So something we produce all the time. That's within us, okay? I mean, like, I can go down some weird places with this conversation. I've played a clip before of Russell Brand talking to this woman. I can't remember her name. She's talking about these tribes around the world that all they do is nap. They don't sleep. If they sleep for more than 4 hours, they wake up and rename themselves because they are a new person. All right? So every night, you release DMT. All right? And then you wake up. And when you die, your body releases the rest of your DMT out of your system. And then if you believe reincarnation, well then you come into a new body, start producing DMT again, right? There's something connected between the human and DMT. Our soul, DMT. Something to that effect. There's a connection there. I don't know what it is. I can only speculate. But it's very, very curious when you hear about people that, you know, when you go to sleep, DMT is released. And then you got to create more throughout your day, you know. You create more, you create more, create more. But if you die, all the DMT is gone, right? There's no more DMT. You can't go taking dead bodies and having their DMT. The movie MZT comes to mind too about shit like this. But anyways, I'm going to get off the whole DMT. I think I gave enough ideas there to make people fucking like really think about shit when it comes to DMT. But just understand that the fact of the matter is it's put in our body for a reason. We go to sleep every night, and sleep is essential for a reason. Okay? Because you can meditate and get the benefits of sleep. I've done it. I do it. I do it continuously. But you don't get the benefits of your DMT dream work. But man, you can be a hell of a lot more efficient and maximize your day. Imagine instead of having 8 hours of work, 8 hours of sleep, and 8 hours of play, you have 8 hours of work and 15 hours of play and only 1 hour of meditation. You could do a hell of a lot more in a day. You could easily work 2 jobs if you only had to take an hour in between both jobs and fucking meditate and be re-energized. Maybe even do a little 5-minute on each of your lunches for another 10 minutes, Just saying. But anyways, I'm going to leave that at that because that's a lot of open-ended questions, but I think that's a good thing when it comes to certain things. When I'm trying to get to a point and then I don't hit it at all and I miss the mark, then that's when my stupid ADD is bad. But when I get on the different topics and explore them and then leave a question for you to ponder, I think is actually beneficial. I think that's beneficial to me and everybody. But anyways, so something you should really learn and prepare yourself for is to lucid dream, keep a dream journal. Just try to get conscious in your dreams. You don't have to do anything crazy. I'm not telling you to go take DMT or mushrooms, although I'm not against it. I'm not going to promote drugs, but I'm not, because a drug addict promoting drugs. Oh, I'm not a drug addict. Ex-drug addict promoting drugs is just, problematic from the get-go. So, because anytime, if I was to say anything worth anything, if anybody wants to shut me down or doesn't want me speaking truth, in quotes, first thing they'll say, this drug addict's promoting drugs, get me demonized. So, I'm not going to promote it. But, do your research, look into it, and if you come to some of the same conclusions, well, go with that inner voice and see what it says. So, the banish, reject, deny. All right, well, I don't remember where I was last going with this, but my episode today is about getting back to the magic, about deities, and I want to get into, like I said, some things about the aliens that I didn't say last time. So, I already a little bit alluded to a couple things about people whenever you can feel energy, you can see energy, you can hear energy, thought forms, shit like that, okay? So, how does this pertain to banish, reject, deny? Well, before you see, hear, or feel them, you think them. And you can be like, well, would that be here? It's like, well, no. Hearing is a very specific thing. This is something you heard. What? Something in your head. The thing telling me to say what words next is not something I'm hearing. It's something I'm thinking. I'm interpreting. It's not something you hear. Whereas when someone says they saw aliens, they had a dream, and they heard the aliens in the dream, to me, when it's a dream, it's a little different. But let's just say, if you see the alien that's using your eyes, if you hear the alien that's using your ears, if you smell alien sense that's using that, if you touch something, let's say there's like something kind of like translucid or invisible in front of you, but your hand stops, you're feeling something, okay? Well, that would be another sense, and then the other one would be tasting. No, I'm not even going to touch that one. But point is, that's your senses, and then there's the other things. There's thinking, and it's one of the senses that we don't talk about. Because people think it's a sixth sense. Well, no, everybody fucking thinks. It's just not them thinking. It's like, well, what the fuck do you mean? Everybody thinks, but they're not the ones thinking. What the fuck does that mean? Like, how much stupider can you talk? Like, how much more sense can you not make? And, well, no, that makes perfect sense. If you have been listening to me at all, you would know that makes fucking perfect sense. Think about it. If being psychic or telepathic, telekinetic, whichever one that you can hear people's thoughts, okay? If that's a superpower, all right, then to control that, to be in control of your mind and thoughts and to know where all these ideas are coming would mean you're telekinetic, I think, is moving. Telepathic is hearing things. Whichever one means hearing other people's thoughts. That means you're telepathic, right? So that's why we consider, no one wants to say what I'm going to say. But when you hear those thoughts in your head and you run with those ideas, okay? That is, people believe that's their own thoughts and they're just going with it. But they didn't come from them. You know what I mean? If you point at a thought and say, I want to know everything about this thought, and you just start writing, you're going to get a bunch of information. So you're telling your subconscious mind, spirits around you, the other thought forms, whatever. You're telling it you want to know more about this, and then you get a flood of fucking ideas, basically. This is basically what your body is doing on like a cellular, molecular level. I don't even know how to word that right, but to a certain extent, whenever you do that, the things firing in your brain, neurons and such, that's what it's telling it to do. It's like, okay, give us all the information about this that he has. But then you pick up different ones, more, and it's like, if you really thought about it, did you ever really learn that in your life? Maybe you heard it somewhere. Maybe there's no way to ever know. But anyways, when it comes to banish, reject, denying thought forms. Shit. Sorry, give me a second. All right, so sorry about that. I was a little hungry and I had to get something. But yeah, just going in my house and coming back, I had a bunch of thoughts come to me about what I'm talking about. And so I stopped long enough to think a little bit more, because when I'm talking, ideas are coming to me as I say them. But, next time you're talking or trying to word something or even writing, try to pay attention to where your ideas are coming from and see if you can pinpoint it and tell me if you're thinking it or not. But anyways, because right now I'm in my car, and most people can hear and know that, the beeping, seatbelt fucking thing I talked about last episode, you can normally hear me driving or whatever. So for some reason, lately, my episodes are all coming from inside my car. And I don't want to be in the house recording most of the time, because people are around, having fucking 4 kids, a wife, 2 pets. There's always something or somebody around to hear me. And, it's just easier sometimes in the car. But I know if I go in that house and try to record, what's going to happen is I'm going to record something for the episode and then listen to more things, and I might not get anything done. Whereas in the car, I can do the same thing because I have fucking unlimited internet on my phone, so I can be watching videos. But for some reason, I like recording better when I'm in the car, and when I'm in the house, I like watching things and procrastinating more, and I end up not getting as much done. Before I know it, it's time to go to work. Why is that? Why is it when I'm in the house I tend to procrastinate more, but in the car I actually record? Well, I can tell you what I think. There's no way to really fucking know, but it's things that are around me, thought forms, ideas I'm picking up. When I'm in the car outside of my house, where there's all these ideas, thought forms that have been created for me and my family, well, there's a bunch of shit there, you know what I mean? And you're picking it up. So, oh shit, well, okay. Thoughts, but telepathically communicating, okay? Your mind is a sixth sense, and I don't mean that in a fucking weird way, because everybody can think and hear these things we call thoughts. Now, these thoughts aren't ours, and it's not even like you'd be hearing someone else's thoughts, because it might not even be possible to hear someone's thoughts. Now, if you want to test this, and you have somebody who's open-minded about this stuff, well, you guys can sit down and fucking, practice and say, okay, I'm holding a thing in my head, and in your head you have to actually say whatever it is over and over again. So you're in your head, you'd be saying blue, 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 hearing yourself say it in your head. And you can do that right now and say, okay, that's what it sounds like when I say something. And you'll feel there's like a little something that happens when you're saying a word over and over in your head. It's very strange. But anyways, if you do that, and the other person in front of you can try to pinpoint it, and this way you narrow that. You can try being super vague and say, okay, what's the word I'm saying over and over again? But you can narrow it down. Okay, start with colors or numbers or something like that, and then go bigger and see if you can get it. Because it doesn't matter if I tell you colors, then you can say, well, there's only so many colors, especially if you're only using the 4, or yellow, red, blue, and green. Let's say you're using those 4. Okay, but that's still only a 1 in 4 chance of getting it. So what are the odds that you're going to get it every single time? Well, very, very unlikely. But let's say you can. Well, then you can go bigger. So instead of 1 out of 4, you can go 1 out of 8, and then 1 out of 12, and then 1 out of 16, 1 out of 20. If you get to 1 out of 50 possibilities and you're doing it every time, well, then you can say, okay, well, there's something to this, and, I might be able to do this. And I believe that you can practice this and get good at it. And this would be more along the lines of telepathy. But if we are picking up thoughts from other places, then is it ever really possible to be telepathic and pick up other thoughts? And I would say no, just because people aren't ever really thinking. Maybe at one point we were, But we're far from that point now. I don't think much people do much thinking at all. The only time people think is when they have to think. At work, if there's a problem if they're in school, classes, courses, they're trying to remember something or whatever. But most people, when they try to remember something, they can't. And it's not until they stop trying that it comes back to them. You know what I mean? So what I'm trying to say is some of the information about the alien thing that got deleted, or maybe I never even hit the record button. Like, I don't know. I'm not trying to make this some mystical thing or conspiracy that someone went to my phone, deleted all traces of my last episode because my information is so truthful and it's going to bring down the system. That's not what I'm trying to put off, so don't fucking think that. I clearly could have been just too tired and never hit the record. And maybe all those little recordings were the product of that. Like I said, there was bunch of deleted ones that were only 4, 5, 6 seconds of that same day. So that could be totally the case. But some of the information that I forgot to say was like previously already mentioned a little bit on this episode at the beginning, where I said thought forms that we pick up if you are somebody within your chart. And I'm going to play you, since people that listen to me, at least from the beginning, or even just recently, they might know a little bit about me, how, like occultist. I've talked about myself being a Taurus, I've always liked brand name stuff, and I've always had this issue that I wanted to look good before I go anywhere. It takes me a long time to go anywhere, that I'm sensitive, I'm an empath. I'm going to play you my chart with my date of birth and everything. Like, this is May 11th, 1986, born at 5:30 a.m., and, I don't have the seconds in there, but it was 5:30 a.m. That's what it says right on my fucking record for my mom, okay? And this is my chart. And you're going to see and hear a lot of the same things that I talk about, say, things that I'm interested. You're going to hear it throughout my chart. So if you're the type of person that's been putting off getting your chart done, which is free, and you're not getting this information, well, that might motivate you to do it when you see how accurate it is for me. And, you can say, okay, well, half those things might be true, and the other half is just something you hope to be, or you kind of are, but, whatever. It doesn't matter. Chicken and the egg, once again. It doesn't matter if you hear the chart and then you behave like it, or you've always behaved like the fucking chart. It doesn't matter. It's still predicting your future, because if you hear it and then try to be like it, especially because you're not going to try to be like the shitty parts of your chart. You're going to try to be like the good parts of your chart. Therefore, it's still fucking useful, so it doesn't matter. But I'm telling you right now, that's not the case. Because the things in my chart, except for maybe like 3 or 4 things, it's pretty darn accurate. For just broad statements about everybody who has their sun in Taurus, and Lilith in Taurus, and North Node in Aries, and South Node in Scorpio, and Pluto in Scorpio, and Uranus in Sagittarius, and shit like that, or Capricorn, or no, Sagittarius. I mean, it's just vague information, but how it pertains to you, how you intercept it, how you think about it internally when you're hearing it, is a whole different ballgame. It's so useful. But the reason I say this, and the way it plays into this alien message thing I made 2 episodes just about last time, is if we are picking up thoughts, or getting messages, or channeling beings from another realm, if you really think about the fact that we aren't thinking up our thoughts, they're coming from somewhere else. It's not technically lying when someone tells you they're channeling from somewhere else, something else. The only difference is they've given it a name, they've given it attributes, and they keep getting information from it. But it's no different than me telling you I'm working with a deity, and my deity tells me to do these things, and I'm following Hecate, and Hecate tells me to do this shit. Well, what is Hecate? Hecate is a thought form we created, technically. And so are these alien beings. They're just created thought forms by humanity. Unless they are in our civilization, or we know about them on a grand scale, or they have their own race. Like, we know dogs exist, we know cats exist, we know insects exist, but anything we can't really see, we don't really know exists. And once again, this is based on our senses, but that doesn't make things real or not real whatsoever. I'm kind of talking in circles, but I'm going to get to the point in a second. Aliens we don't know exist, but yet we can hear thoughts from everywhere all the time. And our culture have ways of interpreting this, either as spirits, ancestors, deities, gods, demons. Now aliens is the newest one. And it really doesn't, this is more evidence of why you should pay attention to the message and not the things that happen surrounding it. Because I'm not saying it may not be true that these beings had ships and shit like that came down. I'm just saying it's less likely and more likely that the message they got, they didn't know how to interpret it, so they tell you it's just from an alien. But the person who is gifted as a child to see thought forms from an early age, their imaginary friends are thought forms they've created. But they don't know that. They just think it's their friends and they go along with it. Or maybe they were created by somebody else in the house. Maybe it's an aspect of the parents. Who knows? Point is, anytime you put enough energy into a thought, especially if it's over and over again, daily over and over again, but then weekly and monthly also, you're going to create something, an entity. And there are people that can feel them. Now, I cannot see thought forms, so I will not see a UFO. Somebody may, though. Somebody probably can see a UFO, like I said. Somebody probably can. Because if anybody puts enough energy and power and belief in that UFOs are real and they're coming, therefore, people that are sensitive, that can see thought forms, will see those thought forms if they're near them. If it somehow gets into their consciousness, I don't know what needs to take place for them to see them. But if whatever needs to happen for them to be in the area or state of mind to see that thought form, they will see it because they have the makeup and practice, have done it. Because at an early age, they learned how to do it, and it's something they kept doing their whole life, which they're still doing. Like French. I was great at it as a kid. I stopped practicing it. I can't just speak it on command anymore. If I try, I can do semi-okay, but if I was to start practicing, it would come back to me. All right? Same thing with any talent, any gift, anything. You stop using it, you lose it. You start it again, you can get it back. Fat plays the same role, okay? Before you have fat, there's nothing there for the fat to grow, so it's harder to gain weight. But once you gain that fat, there's always a fat cell there. You can empty that cell, lose the weight, but it's easier to fill up a cell now that's there, that's made for that. Nature abhors a vacuum and looks to fill it. Unless you fill it with something else, it's going to get filled with what's always been there. So fat, easier to keep off fat if you're not fat in the first place. Which, we can't go around telling skinny people, hey, make sure you don't get fat because it's going to be harder to lose. They're going to be like, yeah, okay, whatever, I'm not going to get fat. But, that's the way people think. But then once they gain that way, they're like, fuck, man, how is it so hard to get back to that size? Once that size before, well, that's the scientific reason. But a lot of things follow this rule. From manifestation, your mind, everything follows that rule. That if you stop using something, you lose it. But you can get it back. There's always something there, built there, that it's easier to get back once you lost it. See, like fat's like a negative thing, is you don't want to be overweight, whereas this is a positive thing. You can regain any of your old talents. But if you've never had the ability for that talent, like if you never had the fat cell, then you're not going to get the fat. So if you never had the ability or the structure, like within your chart, let's just say, to be able to see thought forms, then it's going to be harder. Not impossible, but harder for you to do that. And the only way to practice that would be to make your own thought forms and then try to see what they look like. But even then, that's iffy because none of that can really be proven. Now, for me, once again, can't be proven, but for me, I can hear thought forms and feel thought forms. I can feel energy. And you say, well, a lot of people can feel energy, but doesn't mean they can feel thought forms. I mean, what are you talking about, Corey? Well, what is energy? Energy is a type of thought form. All right. So energy, to me, there's energy in the air we bring. We call it prana. Now, electricity is also considered energy. The human body's electricity seems to amp up when we have emotion. But even without emotion, our body has electricity. So there's different types of energies. There's the energies you need to breathe, to sustain your life, which is breath more than anything. And there's water, and if you have electricity in that water, such as adding salt to that water, it's healthier for your body to run on. So this is like a version of the electricity your body runs on. It's something that's an alkaline state that helps your body run optimally. If you don't do that, your body will die faster. Simply put, you're not putting salt, like Himalayan sea salt, or any other mineral that creates electrolytes in your body, you are going to die faster. Fact, point, hit the gavel on the thing, court adjourned, simply as that. If you decide to just drink fucking Pepsi and eat fucking junk, then you're going to die early. That's not anything hard to realize, okay? Anybody can see that. Even the person doing that can see that. problem is they've been doing it for so long, it's so hard to break the habit. So I'm not going to be insensitive and be like, hey, you want to get better, just do this. It's not that easy. Nothing is. You can't just quit. It's something you've been doing for years, which at a certain point it was the parents' fault for allowing the child to start that habit in the fucking first place. And now that they're an adult, you can yell at them all you want and say, you shouldn't do that. That's wrong. You got to quit doing that. But it's like, well, then why did you allow me to do it in the first fucking place then if it's so fucking wrong? So I'm not picking sides here because they're both wrong. But it is what it is. And I'm not trying to be above anybody or saying I'm smart or I know everything because I fucking don't. I'm still a smoker for God's sake. So who am I to fucking judge anybody? But fact of the matter is, you want healthy cells to make healthy organs, to make a healthy body, to have long-lasting, healthy life, and stay away from disease. Put in electrolytes, alkaline water in your fucking body. That will help your cells. Not food, not anything else. That. Vitamins are great and all, but you need water with those minerals or vitamins in it for the cells to have healthy growth. Fucking first step of everything. The next step is getting your breathing right. But that's not what this episode's about. I already got episodes about that. I don't need to go into that. But just as a side note. But anyways, so there's different types of energies like that, right? And thought forms is a type of energy. And it's one that is not necessarily perceived always by the senses. However, someone who may be intuitive or who can use their mind. When I say mind, I don't mean like the brain. I mean the part of you that can do this extrasensory stuff. The part of you that thinks your thoughts, that hears those thoughts. Okay, that part of you is something that we can't explain. I'm telling you right now, and you can go look for explanations and get something, assuming one, but it's never going to explain it the way it actually is because I've looked. I know this. But the part of you that hears wherever these thoughts come from is the same part of you that is going to interpret things in these other ways, such as feeling energy, seeing energy, hearing energy, smelling energy. Now,
all right. So when it comes to smelling energy, there's quite a few things that can happen that are kind of fucked up whenever you are, for example, for myself, I've been stuffed up and not being able to smell my own fucking food, but then get a very strong aroma of perfumes, flowers, or even nasty smells. And, if you look something like that up, you're going to get everything from, well, mostly that's a sign of that demons are around you, basically. And, take that for what it is. Protect yourself and all that. Like I said earlier, you don't want to take something like that lightly, even if you do have the same views as me, as demons are just created thought forms. But nonetheless, you're smelling some odd smells like that. And, if you're smelling something that you recognize, such as a loved one that passed on, their perfume or something like that, well, it's also a sign that they could be around you. But when it comes to smelling something and you think you're smelling demons, and if your chain's breaking and shit like that, like I had, or any of your fucking, wards are being broken or hidden and shit like that, well, it's a sign that, there could be something around you. And depending on what kind of strand of witchcraft or magic or spirituality you follow, you might want to look into proper ways of dealing with that. But it doesn't always mean the case. And once again, there's a reason everybody talks about addiction and bad behavior, such as your demons. I have some demons I need to work on or fix or exorcise these demons and shit like that. Well, exorcising demons is like an exorcist, not exercising as in making them do fucking jumping jacks or anything like that. But it might be just a sign for you to look at, something in your life, or you might need to fucking change something around. And we all have that. And I tend to, I've already said this before and had entire episodes about it, but the demons that people talk about are often the ones that we've created. It's our own. Everybody has these bad attributes, bad things they fucking do that they know they shouldn't do that they do anyways. It's the same reason we talk about gods, goddesses, deities, shit like that. Aries, Mars. Why are they gods? Well, what's associated to those? Well, it's anger, aggression, passion, but out of control passion, jealousy, shit like that. Well, these things can't die. They're within everybody. So that's why they're gods. More than that, they control you. When you're angry, when you're jealous, when you're just in fucking a fit of rage, can't do anything. That has consumed you. It's controlled you. Therefore, it's a god. It doesn't mean it's an actual physical god up in fucking heaven, or in hell, deciding that you have to fucking, go around killing people or you're going to be an asshole to everybody. But nonetheless, it's something that is fucking controlling you. So therefore, by, giving it a name such as Mars, or, saying it's a sign of Aries, well, everybody has an Aries, and everybody has all the signs of the zodiac within them. Aries being the head, Pisces being the feet, everything in between. But more than that, you can associate emotions to all these signs. And with your astrology chart, you can see where certain planets are within these signs. So if you have fucking Mars and Aries, well, then you're going to be a hot-headed motherfucker. You're going to be more prone to anger and fit and rage because you have the god of war in the sign of war, right? So you got a double fucking whammy. Likewise, if you have Mars in a sign that's not prone to war, let's say you have Mars in Taurus. Well, Taurus is going to slow down Mars. Mars is going to make his rage not so rageful. You might actually be lacking some fire because you need a certain amount of fire in you. You can't be a pussy. You can't be a little bitch. But in the same sense, you don't want to be over fucking powerful and just being a dick just to be a dick and flaunting your rage. You have to find that fucking balance. And your chart will show you where that balance is or where you're imbalanced and you need to work. So your chart's not fixed. It's not, this is set in the stars, this is how you are and you can't change it. No, this is something to use as divination, meaning you can figure out futures, your past. You can see basically your life, where your pros and cons are, where you're going to get money, where you're more likely to, things you might like. But, like I said before, the most base level of Venus and Mars. Mars is what you're passionate about. Venus is what you love. You put those two together, what signs they're in and what they correlate to. Therefore, what you love and what you're passionate about, that might tell you what you want to do, what you might be good at, where you might make your fucking living. But there's 1,000 ways you can interpret this thing, and I'd probably say they're almost all right. But point is, all these things control us. Therefore, as human beings, as we do with everything, we take these things, these emotions, these signs, and we make them into people. We personify them. We say, hey, this is a god. We gotta pay homage to this god. You gotta worship this god. Just like the fucking god of the Bible. What a crock of shit that is. Point is, all these things would be more likely energies, emotions, spirits, thoughts, fucking thought forms. It's more likely to be the things you think and feel inside of you rather than an actual man in the sky or underneath the fucking ground. Because if you're going to tell me that makes more sense than what I'm saying, then don't fucking listen to my shit. You're just a fucking idiot. Because that makes even less fucking sense. But the fact of the matter is, these are emotions that control us and that will never die. And you can say, well, if we had no fucking money, well, nobody would be greedy. Wrong. You can be greedy with food. You can be greedy with intelligence, knowledge, wisdom, your house, your heat, your electricity. None of that's fucking money or has anything to do with money. Therefore, you could have a whole lot of greed without any fucking money whatsoever. Go look at the history of money and see when money was invented. There's been a lot more recorded history before money was ever really invented. So therefore, you're wrong. And yeah, anyways, point of that is all these deities and emotions and things that we feel, we want to be in control of them, not the reverse. And this brings me back to reject, banish, deny. You start getting all these thoughts that you think, oh, my girlfriend's cheating on me, and you start getting jealous. No, just fucking reject, banish, and deny that. And if you really think she's doing something wrong, go fucking talk to her. Go ask her. So be a man, don't be a bitch and fucking whine about it and then get all crazy about it. Hold it in until it manifests outwardly as you freaking out over nothing at all. Point is, don't let these things control you, because as soon as you have that thought, if you accept that thought and it stays inside of you, if you don't let it out, it's going to fucking eat you alive. You're either going to manifest the disease, you're going to manifest rage and freak out and blow up at everybody, or you're going to, you're going to have a mental fucking breakdown. There's so many ways. If you don't get this energy out, it's going to come out of you in another way. And the worst probably being, disease, death, or mental instability. And none of those are good. So you start having these thoughts, banish them away. But if they keep coming up over and over again, well, go talk to your partner. If you have a partner you can't talk to, then why the fuck are you with them? Like, honestly, we really look into that. If you're too scared of your partner, if you're too scared to ask your partner if they're cheating on you, because you don't want to lose them, well, you probably shouldn't be with them. Because if you have a rule that you can't talk about this shit, well, then, yeah, that's a fucked up relationship. And why the fuck are you with them? So But that's just another reason why you reject. Your first line of defense should be rejecting, banishing, denying all those thoughts that you don't want. That, because you can say, well, they're just thoughts, they don't go anywhere, doesn't matter. Wrong again. They do matter, they do go places. Everything starts in the fucking mind, and you can believe that we're in the mind of God or not, but unless you can tell me a better fucking theory of how the world started and what makes you an expert, then go with your gut. I don't really care what you believe, but you got to believe something. And to say that these forces control us, that greed, envy, love, lust, passion, joy, fear, hate, depression, anxiety, these are all emotions. These are all things that everybody goes through. Some have more of these, some have less of these, but we all have them. Just like the signs, just like the planets, just like all this is all within us. And by taking a Tuesday, which is Mars Day, and asking Mars, hey, you mind letting up on me so I'm not so fucking angry at the people that, do a lot of things for me, or just maybe help me out and not be such a prick all the time, it might actually do something. It doesn't mean you're actually talking to a god somewhere, but it shows that you're willing to work on yourself, that you don't think you fucking know everything and have all the answers and that you're always fucking right, that you are human, you make mistakes. And just by showing that sign of, I'm willing to change, I'm willing to do something, well, things happen out of there. And you can turn that into a mystical, spiritual, magical thing, or you can just keep it what it is, and it's basically psychology. Or you can go get fucking pills and just numb and dumb the pain away, but see how long that's gonna fucking do you any good. But I think that's gonna be it for today. I deleted fucking 16 minutes of the rest of this recording, and I can't fucking remember what the hell I said because of just basically improvising the whole thing, but I'm going to leave it at that. But before I go, I'm going to play you my astrology chart. And even before that, I'm going to probably put on someone who is not spiritual. Well, he's probably spiritual, but someone who asked me if I ever heard of this rapper. And I said no. And I've been listening to him. And he's got quite a few songs I really like. And he actually has, 4 things on here that's just like, I don't know, I guess there'd be poetry more than anything, but it's pretty good stuff. You should check it out. And if you do check out his videos, maybe try not to judge him on his appearance. But yeah, I think he's absolutely amazing. But anyways, as always, have a great fucking day.
Nothing on.
Panicked. My pills. I wake up feeling panicked. My pills are in the cabinet. Takes all the strength I have to just ignore them as I pass it. Man, I hope this feeling passes soon, but hell and back, it's barely noon. I'm scared to go outside. Shit, I'm surprised I even left my room. And it feels like no one understands how bad I'd love to join my friends. It's hard to breathe, I'm anxious, and I'll end up staying home instead. The doctor hasn't helped me much. He signs his name, I buy the drugs. I'm feeling weird, I take one out, it makes me feel comfortably numb. Man, I can't handle my emotions like I used to. It's all different now. I start to sweat, I feel confused, my fingers shake, my heartbeat pounds. And I'm feeling claustrophobic every time the closet closes because my skeletons are in there, so I have to leave it open. I'm just nervous over nothing, even shit I can't control. I used to love to be in public, now I'd rather be alone. And even though it's difficult, it's probably for the best. If I didn't make a change, I would have drank myself to death. Then I wake up feeling better than I did the day before. But then it hits me out of nowhere and almost knocks me to the floor. A heaviness, a readiness to get back into bed. A sadness that I can't explain, a cloud over my head. My deepest, darkest fears feel like they're filling up an ocean and I'm floating on the surface with no hope to keep me going. I've been down on myself. Man, I forgot how to believe in me. I never asked for help, now I just struggle with it secretly. I wish that it was something I could sweep under the carpet. Trying to hide it all the time only makes the battle harder. Man, I lived a lot of moments that I probably should have cherished. Now they seem so far away from me. I'm angry and embarrassed. I can't even tell my parents. They don't need to keep on worrying. My mama and my papa don't deserve to have to bury me. I hope the pills I have will hold me over for a while. I'll keep searching for the strength to find my smile.
Deep.
I'm walking out the darkness and I barely made it. Hope this reaches all the people who cannot escape it. I was just like you. I was young like you. I was trying to numb the pain I was afraid of facing. I was trying to run away from the hurt. I didn't know what I would do if living felt any worse. I tried the pills and the therapy and none of it worked. I know it kills, but I want you to know that you ain't the first. Your people can't relate if they ain't felt it themselves. It feels like everything they say when you complain doesn't help. You're sinking deeper every day. When you're awake, you're in hell. You think you changed along the way, but now it's too late to tell. It's like you were rolling with the thunder and bell, because when the lightning started crashing, I guess you did as well. Your demons kicking down the door, they're never ringing the bell. They just keep tapping on the windows till they fall out the cells. I know you're feeling defeated. You try to keep it a secret. Your weakness got you believing you need a doctor for treatment, but taking pills ain't convenient. So you keep looking for reasons to go and flush them down the drain and find the faith to keep breathing. You lay and look at the ceiling all night when you should be sleeping, but you've been knee-deep in pieces of dreams and failed achievements. You keep repeating the moments when you were beaten and broken, and now you're bleeding emotion. You just want someone to hold you. Well, me too. Because I've been standing on the edge trying not to jump. I only say it so you know you aren't the only one. The only thing that killed the pain was smoking weed and getting drunk. Before I knew it, I had drank a case a day for 18 months. I was sleeping with a beer by my bed. Last call was all that I could hear in my head. I know there's too many of us drinking to try and forget, but who the fuck are we gonna cheers if we drink till we're dead? And when you finally get sober, you find the friendships are over because you don't have nothing in common. If you're not getting loaded, you call them brothers, you call them family, you call them your blessings, and now they calling you ignore the phone, and that's called depression. They try to tell you your misery is not an excuse, and you just wish they could spend a day trying to walk in your shoes. Just know you're not alone. I feel the same way as you. It isn't you against the world, because I'm fighting them too. It's like you're losing control until you drive right off the road, and then when the vehicle rolls again, you get thrown out the holes in it. Then you notice your bones are broken and all of your clothes are wet. Soaking with gasoline, light a smoke and explode with it. Till the day that we're ghosts, you'll never be on your own, because I'll be standing in your corner till you need me the most. I was put on this planet to lift you up when you're low, and you have done the same for me, so I'll be keeping you close. I love y'all.
Fucking love it, man. Fucking love it.
I got away from all the chains they tried to lock me up with. I wasn't made for 9-to-5s or working in construction. I never fit the system. My description is the suspect. I gave him all the finger, then I rode into the sunset. And I don't want to be promoted. I don't need to raise a buck. And I don't want the Christmas bonus or the new company truck. Keep that silly uniform I had to wash and dry. I'm not a brick that's in your wall, but you're a thorn that's in my side. I was born to not comply with all the orders and defy all of the horrors I survived. I feel like normal's a disguise, and I don't want an application or a half-an-hour lunch or a cubicle to work a job that I don't even love. My veins are full of gasoline. My motor's made of stolen parts. I've tightened all the nuts and bolts, but I don't want to work on cars. The system's trying to smother me, but anarchy is in my heart. They slash my tires and cut my brakes. I'll crash now if it even starts. My boss don't even know that I make music he would care about. He thinks I'm just some stoner stacking boxes in a warehouse. I got dreams and goals and things I'm told are worth to keep aspiring. When music is my full-time job, then nobody can fire me. But right now it ain't hiring. My groceries expiring. My rent is due. My phone is off. The extra shifts are tiring. I know I'm made for more than what my resume reflects. The government is trying to dumb me down with guns and booze and sex. I'm not a salesman. I couldn't sell beer in the prohibition. I've never been the type to make a living off commission. I'm no good at wearing suits or doing taxes for a business. I want to count some money, not the hours and the minutes. I'm not a carpenter, a lawyer, a doctor. I'm not a waiter or a teacher or a cop or a plumber. I'm not a tradesman or an architect, an engineer, a pilot or a mailman. I'm something that don't fit into their perfect little game plan. I'm me. And they can try to kill my spirit with overtime when the barn burns. But if there's one thing I ain't scared of, it is long days and hard work. So they can pay themselves $1 while I only make a cent. But I will stack up all my pennies till they're higher than the fence. Then I'll climb them like a ladder and jump to the other side. Spend the nickels that I made on a taxi or hitch a ride. But they never thought they'd see the day I left them to survive and use the system that they built to leave their system all behind.
Oh, baby. Shut up, Mia. You're fine.
War is coming. You can hear it in the distance. It sounds like all the screams of 1,000,000 men and women. You can smell it in the air and see it on your television. And the government don't care. They see the money, not the missiles. War is coming. and there's nowhere you can hide. We get a 30-minute warning before the bomb reaches our side. You can run for somewhere safer, but you'll just run out of time because there's nothing you can do except prepare yourself to die. War is coming. Can you feel it? Has your fear become a secret? Who are you more scared of, Donald Trump or North Korea? Are you worried when you're reading all the headlines in the evening? Even atheists will pray that they survive and start believing. War is coming, born from money, worn and ugly like it's always been. The bullets just got faster and the bombs are made from hydrogen. America the brave will have to earn her stars and stripes again. She wrote the books on history, but someone else might write her end. War is coming. War is coming. War has come to get the West. It was beating down our door while we were beating on our chests. It was making better weapons while we laughed at making threats. And now it's come to get its vengeance and we've just become oppressed. War is coming. I got away from my... Don't worry so much about Kanye's Twitter, Cardi B's baby, or what Drake eats for dinner. That is distractions. The laws of attraction won't work if you're concerned with how the next man is acting. That is facts. You can manifest your destiny. One thought is all it takes to change your whole life's trajectory. I'm not religious, but the Bible is full of many hidden recipes. Prayer is just a word they use to demonstrate effectively. The power of our thoughts create reality collectively. They're just messing up the messaging. And if you concentrate on good, then you receive good successfully. That's called fate. Fate is something that is meant to be. It happens because you make it so. It's never accidentally. Physical strength don't matter if you're not strong mentally. You can move a boulder with your muscles, but you can move a mountain with your energy. Don't spend it on your enemies. Eventually, that'll kill you. Remember, you were young once, before you experienced failure, before your confidence was crushed from all the people you're compared to. When you were a kid, you were powerful. There wasn't to scare you. Then they beat you down and broke you up and blinded you and buried you. But the dream is still alive, and that power's still inside you. You need to rewrite the code and reroute the light to find you. We're too heavily invested in steadily flexing. It don't matter if you're sad, if you got Hennessy in a necklace. We're never looking inward. Instead, we look out at projections of what they told us is cool by the subliminal messages. Look in the mirror. That ain't you, dog. That's a manufactured persona that you subconsciously adopted from pop culture and products. That they sold you with the promise of joy. They wasn't honest, and I don't blame you for hoping it was true when you bought it. But the majority of people aren't as dumb as they seem. If you aren't addicted to drugs, then you're addicted to screens. I mean, look at you right now. I mean, look at me. We're both staring at our phones. I just hope you like what you see.
Oh, shit. I fucking love that.
Look, Donald Trump isn't as bad as they say he is. Really only trying to make America great again. The Bible's just a book for people scared to be atheists. Did we land on the moon? I mean, maybe they faking it. The earth could be flat, the presidents could be aliens, and Americans might even be nicer than Canadians. Unpopular opinions got us caught up in the craziness and hating one another, but we're all just homo sapiens. Someone's always gonna hate you no matter what. Might as well just be yourself and let people think you suck. Opinions are like buttholes, everyone got one they cover up, and all you gotta do is follow through, and you yelling that you don't give a... I ain't letting anyone piss in my cornflakes. Stay the hell on my face and I will stay out of your way. I know that life is cruel and lately it ain't fair at all. You hate your job, your phone is lost, there's evil men and racist cops. Yeah, I don't care if you're black or white or gay or straight or old or young or smart or dumb or where you're from or what you make. The only thing I care about is living like I'm not afraid of dying while I'm sleeping, so I seize it when I'm still awake. We're so angry, hating everyone we don't know. We can't even think it's so. We should really let it go. And be happy, stop talking on our phone. And like everyone knows. We've been beaten by the sword. Maybe the feds killed Biggie and Pac. Maybe the Ku Klux Klan just needs some love and a hug. Maybe 9/11 really was an inside job, and the Christians are right, homosexuality's wrong. Or the Illuminati really want the best for the people, and abortions are murder, so they should just be illegal. So I don't know, that's all I'm saying. These opinions drive us crazy. Got us fighting so much lately, we're divided from our neighbors. Someone's always gonna hate you no matter what. Might as well just be yourself and let people think you suck. Opinions are like buttholes, everyone got one they cover up, and all you gotta do is follow through, and you yelling that you don't give a... I ain't letting anyone piss in my cornflakes. Stay the hell on my face and I will stay out of your way. I know that being you is harder than it sounds. You're the only one who can, so be you and do you proud. Yeah, I don't care if you're black or white or gay or straight or old or young or smart or dumb or where you're from or what you make. The only thing I care about is living like I'm not afraid of dying while I'm sleeping, so I seize it while I'm still awake. We're so angry, hating everyone we don't know. We can't even take a show. We should really let it go. And be happy, stop talking on our phone. Running everyone's everyone a butthead, everyone end up dead, everybody upset, everybody blood red, everybody feels like no one cares. Everything is fucked up, everything is tough luck, I have had enough, dumb, everybody shut up, everybody thinks that life ain't fair. Shut up. We're so angry, hating everyone we don't know. We can't even take a joke. We should really let it go. And be happy, stop talking on our phone. Loving everyone's love. We've been being buttholes. We're so angry, hating everyone we don't know. We can't even take a joke. We should really let it go. Let it go, though. And be happy. Stop talking on our phone. So blocking everyone we know. We've been being buttholes. Being buttholes.
Being buttholes.
It's gonna take a bit.
I see you at the liquor store, leaving with the cheapest can of beer on the shelf. You ain't living on the street, but you barely making rent, and I relate because I'm struggling myself. I see you smile at the clerk when you fumble through your purse. I just wish I had a little more to help. I imagine where you're living, how you feeling, what you love, and who you'll be if you can make it out your hell. I see you at the bus stop, looking at the sidewalk, smoking up a cigarette, waiting for a ride. Kinda limp when you walk and look away. When you talk, you're ashamed, I can see it in your eyes. Probably got a NASCAR shirt and a car that you love, but you're here because you're too afraid to drive. It's been almost 10 years since the day that you crashed. Can't forget about the little boy's life. Everybody's got a story. If you look a little closer, you can see it in the wrinkles in their face. They can hide it in the silence, they can bury it and fight it, but it comes out when the hair is turning gray. You can feel it if you touch them. You can tell that they are troubled. You can hear the story running through their veins. We all travel different roads and we put on different clothes. Underneath it all, we're really all the same. We've all got problems and we all feel alone. We've all been haunted by the secrets we hold. We could fill our coffins with the rocks they have thrown, or we could build our castles with the sticks and the stones. We've all got problems and we all feel alone. We've all been haunted by the secrets we hold. We could fill our coffins with the rocks they have thrown, or we could build our castles with the sticks and the stones. I see you sitting on the front porch playing with a radio, looking to the sky. Probably living in that house all alone these days, trying to find a better way to pass time. Got a wheelchair ramp leading up to the door, I can see that you walk just fine. Probably hate it because it isn't getting used anymore, and you only ever built it for your wife. Everywhere that I walk, see you on the sidewalk, begging for a little loose change for some dope. Probably got a mama and a papa spending everything they make, trying to clean you up enough to take you home. Used to have a good job, used to get good grades, used to have big dreams, and he lost hope. When your girlfriend died, giving birth to your son, you're the father that'll probably never know. Everybody has a tale that they're too afraid to tell. You can see it in the cracks in their hands. They can cover it with smiles. If you walk a couple miles in their shoes, then you'll know where they stand. Everyone who really lived had to climb out of a ditch they were in before they found the right path. If you want to know the truth about what we've been going through, then try to put your phone away so you can ask. We've all got problems and we all feel alone. We've all been haunted by the secrets we hold. We could fill our coffins with the rocks they have thrown, or we could build our castles with the sticks and the stones. We've all got problems and we all feel alone. We've all been haunted by the secrets we hold. We could fill our coffins with the rocks they have thrown, or we could build our castles with the sticks and the stones. We are the neighbors that you'll never meet. We are the strangers walking down your street. We are a million faces in the crowd. We are the ones the system's tearing down. We are the people working to survive. We are more than just our 9 to 5s. We are the shopping malls and streetcars. We are one. It's time to tell them just who we are. We've all got problems and we all feel alone. We've all been haunted by the secrets we hold. We could fill our coffins with the rocks they have thrown, or we could build our castles with the sticks and the stones. We've all got problems and we all feel alone. We've all been haunted by the secrets we hold. We could fill our coffins with the rocks they have thrown, or we could build our castles with the sticks and the stones. Man, it's easy for these rappers who have it all. Talk about the days when they used to be sad. I guess I can't relate to being famous and wealthy. I'm 28 and still praying for the day I have a chance. Maybe y'all can help me out though. I'm just trying to take care of my household. I don't even want to make my mouth go. I just want to win before the system that I'm in gets a hold of me again and starts to squeeze under my chin until I'm out cold. Dear rappers, can you help me? I'll even take a selfie with your album that I bought. I got every single CD that you ever fucking dropped. I spent everything I had and I never had a lot. Oh my god, what a mess. Your words help me deal with the stress. Used to contemplate my suicide the nights I was depressed. Used to pop you in a boombox and sit up on my desk. Listen to your music till I felt it in my chest. But these days it's like you don't have nothing left. Your music feels kinda like you're trying to write a check. Everything is digital, I mean no disrespect, but I'm paying even more and you give me even less. What the fuck? You taught me to think, you taught me to grow, you taught me the things to survive on my own. But now you teach me to drink, you teach me to smoke, you teach me to think. Every woman's a hoe. I don't want your Xanax bars or your fancy foreign cars. Throw your money in my face and try to tell me that it's art. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. Yeah. Just a drug addict on TV. I can't hear another fucking song about abusing medication that I had to take just to stay alive. There's more important shit than what you wear and where you live and who you fucking, what you drink and what you spend and what you drive. Rappers full of bullshit. Rappers just a marketing vehicle for the product that the man wants you to buy. Rap about a full clip. Rappers just promoting different liquors and varieties of ways that you could die. Yeah. Dear rappers, can you help me? Are you almost out of alcohol to sell me? Tell me, cause drinking every night can be the way to getting wealthy. If I'm really being honest, all the shit is overwhelming. I need someone to look up to. You're living in a country that elected Donald Trump. You're living in a country where police are killing people every day and all you want to talk about is doing drugs. You've been blinded by the money, you've been blinded by the cars, you've been blinded by the women. Don't know who the fuck you are. Thought I knew you when I spent $100 on a ticket to your show, and now I feel like you stole my fucking money and I'm broke. Man, you taught us how to rap and you taught us how to dress and you taught us how to act if we wanted to impress. Now you're teaching me to live like I know you never would. What you're preaching to these kids is keeping them inside the hood. Your Xanax bars or your fancy foreign cars. Throw your money in my face and try to tell me that it's art. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. Just a drug addict on TV. I don't want your Xanax bars or your fancy foreign cars. Throw your money in my face and try to tell me that it's art. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. Just a drug addict on TV. Yeah.
New Astro Kefir PROB.
Need a change of scenery?
Fucking commercial.
Kayak. Search one and done.
Fuck you, Kayak.
I wish I wasn't fat.
I wish I wasn't gay. I wish I wasn't black.
I wish that I was brave.
I wish with every candle on the cake that I could quit doing these drugs, but I can't and I'm afraid.
I wish that I was smart.
I wish that I was rich.
I wish it wasn't hard for me to grow up and forgive.
I wish that I could help.
I wish I wasn't sick.
I wish I was Tom McDonald. I'd be just like him.
I wish I wasn't sober, missing when the party wasn't over. Happiness was right around the corner. Every single night was like the best one of our lives. Now we're older, the good old days are out of reach. I wish that they were closer. I wish I wasn't anxious, and I wish I could fast forward. And I wish that I could rewind, but they don't make that controller. I wish the nights were longer, and I wish the days were shorter. And I wish that I could sleep enough to maintain my composure. I feel crazy, I wish that I was normal. I wish that I could kill myself, but also be immortal. Take me to the oracle, I heard that time is borrowed. Can you give me back my yesterdays? I'll give you my tomorrows. Forget all of my morals and just live like I cannot remember sorrow. Before all of the tattoos and the cornrows, I was different, I was happy, I was calmer, I was young and full of hormones. Now I'm wishing for a time machine, I'd step into that portal and be gone. I wish on shooting stars, or were they satellites? Maybe they were too far. Hey, ooh, la, la. I must have grown apart a million dandelions. Now they come growing my yard. Hey, ooh, la, la. I wish I didn't care about the day that I'd be buried. Used to live like I was ready for it, always in a hurry. Now I'm worried, all my memories are blurry. I'm just barely turning 30 and the voices in my head are trying to hurt me. The choices that I made make me feel dirty. I was 25 or 13, I was smoking with the seniors, drinking beer and getting flirty. Now the Ativan ain't working, I need something even stronger. Give me childhood, my mother and my father and my sister, and a Christmas to make up for all the recent ones I'm missing while I'm touring the country for a living. Give me a hug and a Nintendo and a toy box in the closet. Give me everything I wish I had. Oh wait, I think I got it. I'm a rapper like I always promised them I would accomplish. This is awesome, man. I wish I had a friend to tell. I'd call him, man. I wonder if I jump from here, if I'd survive the bottom, and would everyone believe me if I told them I had fallen? I'ma jump. I wish on shooting stars, or were they satellites? Maybe they were too far. Hey, ooh, la, la. I must have grown apart a million dandelions. Now they come growing my yard. Hey, ooh, la, la. I wish we were kids again, before everything was on Instagram. Hey, yo, things were so simple then. Me, my tree fort, all of my friends. Way back when on Beaver Drive, when the floor was lava, I could fly. Hey, yo, wished I was big like them. Never thought I'd wanna be a kid again. I wish on shooting stars, or were they satellites? Maybe they were too far. I must have grown up. Man, it's easy for these rappers.
Fuck.
May 11th, 1986 to 1905, 30, Eastern Daylight Time, DST, May 11th, 1986 to 1909, 30, 19 hours, 46 minutes, and 33 seconds. Placidus System 45 degrees 1 minutes N, 74 degrees 44 minutes W. Cornwall, Canada CA, on, login, register, horoscopes, Astro Tools compatibility celebrities birthdays numerology guest sign moon phase forum. Interpretations, Ascendant, Medium Coeli, House Rulers, https://horoscopes.astro-seek.com/calculate-birth-chart-hor. 1% dominant underscore rulership equals 1% redraw underscore button equals redraw hashtags underscore redraw 02172020 10:02 p.m. page 3 of 21. The ruler of the ascendant, Venus. These people tend to act in accordance with their feelings, love, or passions. They like luxury, wealth and beauty. Text and with regard to other planet positions and aspects of the horoscope. First house, Ascendant ASC. Physical personality. Ascendant ASC symbolizes basic personality traits such as physical appearance, temperament, behavior, relationship. Before reading the following interpretation done by a computer, it is good to note that any planet position or aspect mentioned in your horoscope may be insignificant. You should always remember the rule: nothing should be evaluated separately. Things should always be considered in a broader context and with regard to other planet positions and aspects of the horoscope. First house, ascendant ASC, physical personality. Ascendant ASC symbolizes basic personality traits such as physical appearance, temperament, behavior, relationship to life, and the first impression the person gives. Ascendant in Taurus. Taurus ruler is Venus. People who have Taurus ascendant enter life slowly and relentlessly. They do not rush. They make plans, build and work systematically in order to achieve their goal. However, they might become lazy, or they want things to stay the same even though they have no longer purpose or meaning. More https://horoscopes.astro-seek.com/calculate-birth-chart-hor.1% the ascendant underscore rulership. These people tend to act in a draw underscore button equals redraw hash t. The ruler of the ascendant, Venus. These people tend to act in accordance with their feelings, love, or passions. They like luxury, wealth and beauty. They do not like living alone and they need to be accepted by other people. They often take the path of the least resistance. They are good companions. They like good food and drinks. The ruler of the ascendant, Venus. In Gemini, these people try to achieve several, usually intellectual, goals at once. They like to have fun and they like to travel, most often with their family or friends. The ruler of the ascendant, Venus. In the second house, these people love money. They want to own and multiply their property or act by using words. Planets in the first house. Sun, Lilith, Chiron. Ascendant aspects. Conjunction Sun, 3 degrees 39 minutes. Applying. Trine Mars, x 31 degree 48 minutes. Applying. Sextile Jupiter, 0 degrees 26 minutes. Applying. Parallel Sun, x 31 degree 00 minutes. 10th house. Medium co-LEMC career, prestige and reputation. Medium co-LEMC symbolizes social status, career, reputation, honors, fame, success, authoritative personality. In Capricorn, ruler is Saturn. People with Capricorn on the 10th house cusp have a great desire for career growth and they are likely to become scientists or work in education, libraries, construction or politics. Their career growth is gradual and stable. Capricorn on the 10th house in cusp brings success later in life. The ruler of the 10th house, Saturn, in the 7th house. These people become politicians or they work with their audience. Their work often affects their marriage. Planets in the 10th house. There is no planet. MC aspects. Trine Sun, 4 degrees 18 minutes. Separating. https://horoscope.astro-seek.com/calculate-birth-chart. Hor. 1 and dominant rulership equals 1 and redraw button equals redraw tabs redraw 021720. Interpretations. Planets in signs. Planets in houses. https://horoscopes.astro-seek.com/ Interpretations. Planets in signs. Planets in houses. Planets describe a certain process of what is happening. Egg. Mars fights. Saturn limits. Jupiter expands. Sign in which the planet is located determines how the planet is manifesting itself. For example, Mars may manifest itself in a way Aries would behave vigorously and irritably, or in the manner of Taurus, more slowly, gradually and consistently. Houses show special areas of everyday life, in which all this takes place. Location in a house shows weather. For example, Mars manifests in relationships, 7th house, employment, 6th house, family, 4th house or elsewhere. Hint: planets show us what is happening. Signs show us how it is happening. Houses show us where it is happening. Planets, Sun, self, individuality, personality. The Sun symbolizes a personal identity. It shows us areas where the person should learn to be independent, where he should fulfill his potential, differentiate himself from others and shine. The position of the Sun may tell us which profession would best suit the character of a person. Sun in Taurus. The sign of Taurus gives people who were born under it calm and patient nature, and a sense of appreciation for beautiful and pleasant things in life. People born under the sign of Taurus are often quite introverted and they like to keep their distance, even from their best friends. However, the reason for this is not their arrogance, but their inability to talk their problems over with somebody more. Sun in the first house. The sun in the first house forms a powerful connection with the ascendant and creates personality that corresponds with its zodiac sign. It gives people a sense of identity, vitality and self-confidence. People are more spontaneous and outgoing because their personality is more complete. The sun gives them determination, leadership skills and initiative. Their thinking is optimistic and cheerful. Sun aspects trine Mars, x31 degree 51. Raoul ascendant x31 degree 00 minutes. Moon, emotions, instincts, roots. Mother place in the horoscope where the moon is tells us what gives the person a sense of security, and where to find it. It describes how sensitive we are and how we instinctively interact with our surroundings. The moon also tells us about our childhood and our experiences with our mother. Moon in Gemini manifests itself by the need for changes and spontaneity. Safety lies in thinking about your feelings and sharing them with others. You can be talkative and you speak skillfully and with ease. This ability can be used in literature, journalism or in counseling. More moon in the second house. The moon in the second house heralds repeated changes in financial affairs. Money and material matters are important for these people because their sense of emotional security is dependent on them. For these reasons they are cunning and greedy. Their emotional satisfaction is dependent on material comfort. Financial difficulties create emotional insecurity, which can have a strong impact on their household. Moon aspects conjunction Venus square Jupiter opposition Uranus 4 degrees 18 minutes. Applying, Mercury, thinking, communication, intellect. Learning. Mercury is the planet that brings us interest in intellectual things, about teaching and learning. It also indicates into what depth we want to study things. It gives us natural intelligence and the ability to analyze and reproduce. Mercury in Taurus. People with Mercury in Taurus stop being so carefree. They are thorough and precise. The influence of Earth awakens 0 degrees 27 minutes. Applying 0 degrees 05 minutes. Separating https://horoscopes.astro-seek.com/calculate-birth-chart. Contemplation and the need to provide evidence of their findings and opinions. People with Mercury in Earth signs are renowned experts in the field they have chosen to specialize in. They like to think deeply about things. They have good knowledge of things they are interested in and they enjoy the process of learning. Contemplation and the need to provide evidence of their findings and opinions. People with Mercury in Earth signs are renowned experts in the field they have chosen to specialize in. They like to think deeply about things. They have good knowledge of things they are interested in and they enjoy the process of learning, as if it was some good food. When they learn something and understand it, they will probably never forget it. Mercury in the 12th house. Mercury in the 12th house represents the subconscious mind. Thinking of these people is influenced by their subconscious and past experiences. Their decisions are based on emotions instead on logical thinking. These people have a tendency to be secretive and they do not like to express their opinions, especially in the public. They lack self-confidence but they are good at hiding it. This position also suggests difficulties in learning new things and it is an obstacle to developing the potential of the person. Mercury aspects. Trine Neptune, x31 degree 45 minutes. Separating. Opposition Pluto, x31 degree 42 minutes. Separating. Venus, sensuality, love, harmony, pleasure. Venus symbolizes attractivity. Sign in which Venus is tells us what we are attracted to and this enables us to give or receive love and affection, beauty and happiness, values and principles. The negative side is that it represents weakness and shallowness. Venus in Gemini. Gemini is a sign of youth, and these people have a strong urge to prevent stagnation and maintain flexibility in their relationships. They believe that relationship without freedom is deemed to fail. Venus in the Gemini can be more compared with love bud rather than love in a full bloom, so it must be given the opportunity to bloom. These people like diversity and they have a spark that is here to illuminate their love and their beloved partner. People with Venus in Gemini typically make friends and acquaintances easily. They like to meet people. Sexual and family relationships are their heart, but diverse social relationships are their lungs that breathe life into their being. Venus in the second house. Venus in the second house represents a connection with security and material wealth. These people love their property, jewelry, clothes and other accessories. They will probably be lucky in material matters. They like money, but only because it gives them better social status. They are talented traders and businessmen. Venus in this position also indicates the possibility of gaining money from some artistic activity. It can also mean lavishness and material privileges. https://horoscopes.astro-seek.com/calculate-birth-chart-1 $1 redraw button equals redraw hashtags redraw 02172020 10:02 p.m. page 7 of 21. Venus aspects. Conjunction Moon square Jupiter opposition Uranus 3 degrees 50 minutes. Applying. Contra-parallel Mars 0 degrees 12 minutes. Contra-parallel Uranus 0 degrees 43 minutes. Mars. Activity. Energy. Courage. Assertiveness. Mars symbolizes the need to get what we want. This means our driving force, which includes sex drive, initiative and courage. Mars tells us about our desires, sensuality, courage and will. It also tells us about how we are able to overcome obstacles and how active we are. Mars in Capricorn. People with Mars in Capricorn do not like to waste time daydreaming. In other words, when they make plans, they are realistic and they will accomplish what they plan. The influence of Mars in Capricorn is stronger, which means that these people are usually able to get what they want in a sophisticated, pragmatic and infallible way. Their achievements are built on solid foundations and they usually do not tend to make things easier for themselves. Still, it is likely that they do not fully realize how deep and broad are the foundations on which they build on are. It is important for them to believe that there is a progress, that the construction work continues, even though it can be done unconsciously, under the surface where the foundations are. Mars in the 9th house. Mars in the 9th house suggests interest in traveling, sports, religion and philosophy. These people adhere to their principles and strongly advocate their opinions. They usually easily convince others about the correctness of their opinions. If they are not successful in doing what they do, they become impatient and they get angry easily. They are adventurous travelers who like to travel abroad. They are trying hard to learn new skills and gain new knowledge. Mars aspects. Trine Sun, x 31 degree 51 minutes. Separating. Sextile Jupiter, x 31 degree 21 minutes. Separating. Trine Ascendant x 31 degree 48 minutes. Applying conjunction MC 6 degrees 10 minutes. Separating. Contra-parallel Venus, 0 degrees 12 minutes. Parallel Uranus 0 degrees 30 minutes. 0 degrees 27 minutes. Applying. 0 degrees 32 minutes. Separating. https://horoscopes.astro-seek. Jupiter, happiness, optimism, expansion. Jupiter symbolizes growth, expansion, laws, faith and ethics that guide it. It represents a sense for development and support, which can lead to opportunities, wealth and faith. However, if Jupiter is damaged, the person becomes immoral and extremist. Jupiter in Pisces. Jupiter in Pisces forms a hospitable, friendly and charitable nature. These people like to help the castaways of the society. They are true angels of mercy who help anybody whose body, soul or spirit suffers. They help the sick and imprisoned. They are sensitive and therefore they are able to perceive the influences of the invisible world. They have experience of spiritual nature and they often become occultists. People with Jupiter in Pisces may have been too obliging in the past and too much may have been expected of them. As a result, they may have become distrustful and suspicious of other people's intentions, and they tend to exaggerate their troubles in a slightly distorted effort to uncover their misunderstood sensitivity. They may tend to follow someone or something that they promoted to a divine position and later they become disappointed. Jupiter in the 11th house. Jupiter in the 11th house suggests that this planet will play an important role in fulfilling dreams and achieving goals. It is also true for friends and companions who will help them. These people are usually good organizers and they have the ability to plan big projects. Their success is usually mainly the result of their friends' support. Politicians often have Jupiter in the 11th house. Jupiter aspects. Sextile Sun. 3 degrees 13 minutes. Separating. Square Moon square Venus sextile Mars. X 31 degree 21 minutes. Separating. Square Uranus 4 degrees 23 minutes. Applying. Sextile Ascendant. 0 degrees 26 minutes. Applying. Saturn. Restriction. Order. Maturity. Time. Saturn is our strict teacher who is able to ruthlessly examine our maturity. However, it is not only the despot, but also the archetype of the sage who uses pain as a means to get our attention on what we should focus on and what we should continue to develop. Saturn in Sagittarius. People with Saturn in the Sagittarius have to build a healthy, https://horoscopes.astro-seek.com/calculate-birth-chart-hor. System of religious and moral principles that will lead them and give a purpose to their lives and hence the lives of others. It is quite possible that people with this social status come from an environment of religious dogmas that have to some extent limited their outlook on life. Perhaps they were not treated well in the past, which gave rise to resistance on the one hand, and taught them not to worry about problems too much on the other hand. Or it could have been social and cultural influences that restricted their freedom and stopped them from experiencing things that will expand their horizons and improve their self-concept. Even if they do a lot of exciting things and visit very distant places, they still lack the feeling that they firmly believe something or that something believes in them. This shortcoming can grow into a great need for social and educational moral principles, qualifications, etc. However, if they do not understand what tested in searching actually means, they will continue to fear moral and social censorship. If they lose hope, they may have nothing to support them even if they have university education. Saturn in the 7th house. Saturn in the 7th house suggests people who are careful in their intimate relationships. This usually results in late marriage, and it may also mean not very happy marriage. However, it does not mean unhappy marriage. It rather suggests mature and rational relationship that is usually durable. This may mean an older or too serious or strict spouse or other limitations. Uranus. Originality. Freedom. Revolution. Uranus is the power of awakening, which often means that there will be some disruption and change. Events under the influence of Uranus are unexpected or unpredictable, forcing us to do things in a new way and face the truth about this or that issue. Uranus in Sagittarius. Note: Uranus is a slow transpersonal planet and may remain in a single sign for up to many years. The description of Uranus in Sagittarius is therefore valid for the entire generation of people and is very general. The characteristic of the personality is in the description of Uranus in the 8th house. People with Uranus in Sagittarius strive for spiritual progress and intellectual growth. They often have revolutionary thoughts. They see other races as equals and they often fight against xenophobia. They love flying and they consider expeditions to space very exciting. They bring new directions to philosophy. They are optimistic and they tend to make unexpected and unplanned journeys to other countries. Uranus in the 8th house. Uranus in the 8th house creates instability and changes in shared resources and inheritance. Uranus in this house also suggests very perceptive and intuitive people. Collective. https://horoscopes.astro-seek.com. Resources. Businesses and investments are likely to undergo unexpected changes. This position may mean unexpected inheritance. Uranus aspects. Opposition Moon. 4 degrees 18 minutes. Applying. Opposition Venus. 3 degrees 50 minutes. Applying. Square Jupiter. 4 degrees 23 minutes. Applying. Contra-parallel Venus. 0 degrees 43 minutes. Parallel Mars. 0 degrees 30 minutes. Parallel Neptune. X 31 degrees 02 minutes. Neptune. Fantasy. Illusion. Spirituality. Imagination. Neptune is called the Lord of the Invisible Empire, which is a mysterious name of a mysterious planet. Perhaps we could describe it as a dimension of life that cannot be experienced by our 5 senses and we can only understand and perceive it in our imagination. Neptune in Capricorn. Note: Neptune is a slow transpersonal planet and may remain in a single sign for up to many years. The description of Neptune in Capricorn is therefore valid for the entire generation of people and is very general. The characteristic of the personality is in the description of Neptune in the 9th house. Neptune in Capricorn gives people determination and the ability to concentrate. However, it can ruin their typical Capricorn rationality. This position somewhat shatters their natural desire for perfection, but it gives people desire to achieve spiritual goals. Neptune in the 9th house. Neptune in the 9th house suggests strong connection with education, philosophy, religion and travel. These people are often easily influenced, intuitive and interested in unusual religions. They may also be interested in art, which they may study or teach. This position of Neptune also means misunderstandings and difficulties with in-laws. Neptune aspects. Trine Mercury, x31 degree 45 minutes. Separating. Sextile Pluto, 0 degrees 02 minutes. Applying. Parallel Uranus x31 degree 02 minutes. Parallel MC, x31 degree 02 minutes. https:// Horoscope. Pluto, transformation, regeneration, power. Pluto is the planet of death and rebirth. It is the end of all things. It is the judgment day. It can give rise to obsessions or convictions. On the dark end of its spectrum, it can manifest as succumbing to the urge, or it can create an individual who has the ability to get to the core of things, destroy negative things and bring on healing and transformation. Pluto in Scorpio. Note, Pluto is a slow transpersonal planet and may remain in a single sign for up to many years. The description of Pluto in Scorpio is therefore valid for the entire generation of people and is very general. The characteristic of the personality is in the description of Pluto in the 6th house. People with Pluto in Scorpio have a passionate desire for mystery. They like to use intrigues and they have a great disposition for personal transformation that can happen especially through their desires. They are prolific, universal and capable. They radiate occult powers. Their sexuality is also transforming for them, but at the same time they can feel restricted by it. Pluto in the 6th house. Pluto in the 6th house gives people the ability to substantially improve their working environment, but usually in a way that is considered too novel. These people may be too bossy. When this planet becomes active, it can mean that the person cannot get along with his co-workers or employees. Pluto often causes havoc in the working environment. These people can also have extreme attitude towards health issues. Pluto aspects. Opposition Mercury, x31 degree 42 minutes. Separating. Sextile Neptune, 0 degrees 02 minutes. Applying. Objects. Lunar nodes, North Node and South Node. The lunar nodes aren't planets, but rather astrology mathematical points that are directly opposite each other in the chart. It is said that your life purpose is encoded between them, in the line between North Node and South Node. The South Node indicates your comfort zone, your habitual place, while your North Node shows life lessons and what you're striving for in this lifetime. Both lunar nodes are almost always retrograde. North Node, mean, in Aries. South Node in Libra. North Node in Aries brings the conflict between the need for self. https://horoscopes.astro-seek.com/calculate-birth-chart. Hor. 1 and dominant rulership equals 1 and redraw button equals redraw tabs redraw 02, 17, 20, 20, 10. Development and the pursuit of harmony, mental balance and the ability to adapt in a relationship. Tension between giving and receiving. These people need to develop the courage to step out of old relationship habits and create the right relationship with themselves. They need to do what they think is right. They should concentrate on developing their independence and self-confidence. They should be willing to deal with conflicts and accept losses in relationships. Beware of over-adaptability and inclination to help everyone, even if it is against their own needs. North Node, mean, in the 12th house. South Node in the 6th house. North Node in the 12th house brings the conflict between transcendental effort and everyday reality, between chaos and order, and between spirituality and reason. These people need to open up to their spirituality and imagination. They need to escape the constraints of the usual and explainable and be open to the unusual and unexplainable. They need to go beyond the rational and analytical, develop imaginative powers and spiritual awareness. They should stop working so hard and find time for themselves. They should learn to make self-sacrifice and show love for other people. Beware of morbid obsession with order, cleanliness and rejection of everything that is not in perfect order or cannot be explained. Node, mean, aspects, square MC 4 degrees 12 minutes. Applying. Lilith, Black Moon, fascination and denial. Lilith is a fictional point, the second empty focal point of elliptical orbit of the moon around the earth. In mythology, Lilith refused to submit to Adam, rebelled against the connection between Adam and Eve. decided to escape from the world of people and made a connection with Satan. In astrology, Lilith symbolizes either fascination or refusal of topics with which she is connected with. Both the fascination or the rejection of the given topics can eventually engulf the person and take him away from the human world. Lilith, mean, in Gemini, ambiguous communication, fascination with ambiguity and shadows, the search for identity. These people live in the world of thoughts that are completely free and subject to the constant process of change. Lilith in Gemini emphasizes all this more intensely, and these people are virtually unstoppable. They have a great desire for knowledge and information. They do not take anything seriously because they think that everything can be changed. They tend to change information and then pass this modified information on. They do. https:// Main aspects. https://horoscopes.astro-seek.com. Main aspects. https://horoscopes.astro-seek.com/calculate-birth-chart-hor. Dominant. Not like to live in one place for too long, and they make friends easily. They especially like to meet nonconformist, unusual people. Beware of asthma and injuries of lungs, arms, hands and shoulders. Lilith, mean. In the first house, these people are reserved. They are fascinating, but they also make other people nervous. Chiron, wounded healer. Inner teacher. Chiron is an asteroid between Saturn and Uranus. Its orbit is very unusual and represents a bridge between material and spiritual worlds. According to mythology, Chiron was a great healer, wise teacher, and one of the immortal centaurs. Unfortunately, he was deadly injured by a poisonous arrow by Heracles, his favorite disciple. He was suffering in great pain, but he could not die. Finally, he gave up his immortality for the benefit of Prometheus, who was also suffering, and Chiron was sent to the underworld. In the underworld, Zeus had mercy for him and he raised him to the heaven. In astrology, Chiron symbolizes our unhealable injuries and incurable trauma. However, if a person, instead of drowning in his own trauma, is able to accept the trauma and help others who are also suffering, and accept that suffering is part of life, then Chiron may be the key to wisdom, or even to some sort of initiation gate. Chiron in Gemini without success. These people keep trying to explain to others what they wanted to say, what they said and what they meant by it. They either believe that nobody listens to them, or that no matter how hard they try, others cannot understand them or do not want to understand them. The more they try to correct this misunderstanding, the more this sense of misunderstanding that they can never overcome hurts them. Chiron in the first house. These people may be traumatized by the fact that despite all their efforts they are not successful because they are not very proactive and assertive. They lack the appropriate dose of healthy aggression that is needed in a competitive society in order to survive competition with those who are too harsh and ruthless. They usually compensate for this with exaggerated activity, but the results never correspond with the effort they put in. Sun trine Mars, x 31 degree 51 minutes, separating. Harmonious aspects give these people the desire to set objectives and the ability to reach their goals. Assertivity, energy, competitiveness, impatience and readiness are all the typical manifestations of these aspects. Sun sextile Jupiter, 3 degrees 13 minutes, separating. This harmonious aspect creates confident and optimistic people. People with this aspect like to travel and they love adventure. They also like studying and gaining new experiences. Moon conjunction Venus, 0 degrees 27 minutes, applying. People with this conjunction are naturally charming and their charm opens doors to places they would otherwise enter only with lots of experience. They love luxury and pleasant aspects of life. They are diplomatic and they use their abilities to achieve harmonious relationships with other people. Moon square Jupiter, 0 degrees 05 minutes, separating. This aspect causes constantly increasing needs for emotions, care and comfort. These people are introverts who seek intense religious life. They are very dependent on external conditions and they need to find their purpose of life. Moon opposition Uranus 4 degrees 18 minutes, applying. This aspect brings people the feeling that they have been wronged and they need to do something about it. They often unexpectedly decide to do radical changes. They like chaos and they do not like to lead respectable family life. They love alternative ways of living. They are very individualistic. For this reason, living in a community or family environment does not really suit them. They feel separated from society. Complex of separation. These people are predisposed to great emotional tension, imbalance, emotional lability, explosive emotions, and emotional vulnerability. Mercury trine Neptune, x 31 degree 45 minutes, separating. This harmonious aspect gives people great fantasy and a good taste for art. However, these people do not have a good sense for detail and they may find it hard to cope with the practical and material aspects of life. They like photography, esotericism and fashion. They are too trusting and sometimes they have to pay a big price for it. This aspect often brings intuition and inspiration linked to thinking, speaking and communicating. Mercury opposition Pluto, x 31 degree 42 minutes, separating. This aspect affects thinking in such a way that these people are overly dominated by their opinions and instincts. This results in biased thinking. These people study sporadically, but when they do, they put all their energy into it and consequently they become very exhausted. When they search for truth, they are convinced of their opinions and they do not consider practical aspects much. They often use all the information and intelligence they have into manipulating others. However, they are often unaware of it. Venus square Jupiter, 0 degrees 32 minutes, separating. People with this aspect are emotionally demanding. They are often unable to maintain friendships because of their interests. For example, because of their religious activities, idealism, or long stays abroad. They often have artistic ambitions but they lack talent. They are difficult to get along with because they are often selfish and demanding. They like luxury. https:// Free birth chart calculator. Natal chart online astrology reading. AstroSeek C. Other aspects. Other aspects. https:// Items on which they spend considerable amounts of money. Venus opposition Uranus 3 degrees 50 minutes. Applying. This aspect complicates any relationship because these people see relationships literally as a loss of personal freedom and integrity. They are mentally unstable and their feelings constantly change. They often get involved in great number of relationships throughout their life. They are unconventional, difficult to get along with, eccentric and original when they create art. They are just as unstable in their ways of dealing with money. They are adventurous and they lead unstable love life. Mars sextile Jupiter, x 31 degree 21 minutes, separating. This harmonious aspect gives people energy and activity. People with this aspect need movement, whether in the form of active sport or tourism. They are also eager for new information, so they like to participate in various courses, seminars and training sessions. Jupiter square Uranus 4 degrees 23 minutes, applying. This aspect causes desire for independence and learning about the mysteries of life. This desire is difficult to control. These people are original and their knowledge encompasses wide areas of life. However, their opinions are often too dogmatic. They love power. They consider themselves exceptional and they expect others to honor them. There may be sudden problems with courts, officials, or with the law. Neptune sextile Pluto, 0 degrees 02 minutes. Applying. This harmonious aspect is long-lasting and it affects peacemaking attitudes. In connection with other aspects, it further enhances peace-building and transformative actions on global scale. Other aspects. Ascendant conjunction Sun, 3 degrees 39 minutes. Applying. This aspect indicates a relationship between behavior and the true nature. These people are who they really are. Ascendant trine Mars, x 31 degree 48 minutes. Applying. The positive thing about this aspect is that it gives people assertiveness, abundant energy and physical resilience. Ascendant sextile Jupiter, 0 degrees 26 minutes. Applying. The positive thing about this aspect is that these people are generous, kind and that they are usually in excellent health. MC trine Sun, 4 degrees 18 minutes. Separating. This aspect indicates the ability to succeed using own means or with the help of others. MC conjunction Mars, 6 degrees 10 minutes. Separating. The positive thing about this aspect is that it gives people fighting spirit and lot of energy that helps them achieve success at work. The negative side of this aspect is that these https:// horoscopes.astro-seek calculate-birth-chart-hor. 1% dominant rulership equals 1% redraw button equals redraw hashtags redraw 021720201002. Declination aspects, parallels. People are often impatient and aggressive. There may be conflicts and rivalry at work. MC square node, 4 degrees 12 minutes. Applying interpretation is being prepared. Declination aspects, parallels and contraparallels. Parallels and contraparallels are aspects which refer to degrees of declination above or below the celestial equator. Parallel is similar to a conjunction, but usually provides benefits. Contraparallel is said to be similar to the opposition, but weaker. Note: the following parallel and contraparallel interpretations are the same as the interpretations used for the conjunction and opposition. Venus contraparallel Mars, 0 degrees 12 minutes. This aspect is similar to conjunction, but these people get offended more easily and their emotions are unbalanced. Their friends can quickly become their enemies. They are very impulsive and they often want impossible things from their partners. They are easily filled with enthusiasm about something, but they lose their interest very quickly. Venus contraparallel Uranus 0 degrees 43 minutes. This aspect complicates any relationship because these people see relationships literally as a loss of personal freedom and integrity. They are mentally unstable and their feelings constantly change. They often get involved in great number of relationships throughout their life. They are unconventional, difficult to get along with, eccentric and original when they create art. They are just as unstable in their ways of dealing with money. They are adventurous and they lead unstable love life. Mars parallel Uranus 0 degrees 30 minutes. This conjunction gives people independence, individualism and, as is the tradition when the aspect is related to Uranus, inventiveness and the desire to discover new things and insights. Routine would kill these people. They like responsibility for their activities and they prefer solving problems on their own. This conjunction is very risky because both planets are impulsive. These people like to be very active and they like extreme experience. They are often hyperactive. Uranus parallel Neptune, x 31 degrees 02 minutes. This conjunction is responsible for urge for changes. These people tend to change their lives and to interfere with political affairs that they are never satisfied with. If they are publicly engaged, then their reformist efforts have some chances to be successful. Otherwise they live in discontent with the circumstances all their life. This conjunction gives people immense originality, intense creative abilities and innovative inspirations. Ascendant parallel Sun, x 31 degrees 00 minutes. This aspect indicates a relationship between behavior and the true nature. These people are who they really are. https://horoscopes.astro-seek.com